Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, good morning. Welcome aboard. Sorry we're slightly late here on the program. I thought I was going to be here early today because normally, Sean knows that when I get here to Hialeah Park, I usually get here, 5-10 minutes before I get on the air, and I'm usually ready to go at 10 o'clock. And so today, I was going to get here about 25 minutes early, I thought. And, man, that damn train caught me. That's right next to Hialeah Park. And I get off on 74th Street, right? And so coming down 74th Street, you're going to make a left, and you have to cross the railroad track at one point or another. You've got to cross the railroad track. So, it's one of those deals where I thought I was going to be here a little early. You're getting better there, Sean. You're getting it now. There you go. Pretty close. So I thought I was going to be here a little early, and I was going to be ready for 10 o'clock. And, man, that train took forever, brother. I was sitting there for like 20 minutes plus. I don't know. It was a long time. Anybody that got caught up with that train just a few minutes ago over in Hialeah, holy shit, that train was long, bro. Long. Damn it. Wow. Anyway, so good morning. Hope you all are doing well. We are doing fantastic on a beautiful Thursday. We're at Hialeah Park. We're in the second floor poker room. We got folks already out here packed, enjoying the poker room and those captain's chairs and the lovely ladies serving you drinks and food and all that good stuff. So come on out here at Hialeah Park, smoke-free casino. Remember, we do have the smoking slots outside where they've got ventilation and all kinds of stuff. So at least it's not hot at all. But inside, no smoky, okay? So no smoke anywhere. So it's a smoke-free casino. So you get to relax. And the people that do smoke and gamble, we've got stuff on the outside and patios. So it's actually pretty cool. It's actually a really good thing that they did with that overall. I'm with you there. Although, when do we get to the point, I guess, when it becomes recreational, right? That you'll have people like smoking weed and gambling? No? How come that hasn't happened already in California? Don't you want, like, or in Vegas, it's recreational, not California, Vegas. You figure you feed them alcohol, right? So you want them to get as drunk as possible, right? You're pumping in air. You're pumping in air through the vents, so you can keep people a little bit more alive. Then you're feeding them alcohol, so you can kind of, you know what I mean? Why not just have them smoke too? I mean, if you can smoke in Vegas casinos, which you can, okay, not here, but in Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas, yeah, maybe. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. In Vegas casino, they're allowing you to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, then
okay. So how come they don't let you get stoned if they're going to let you get drunk?
Maybe then you can.
Isn't it funny how that whole stigma still
like
alcohol?
Maybe they could
1 billion times worse than marijuana. Yeah. Okay, and yet they'll let you drink all you want there publicly, and in Vegas you can't just roll a blunt right there in the table,
right at the table.
Yeah. Well, not roll it. You got to have it already pre-rolled. You can't go rolling it.
Well, you got time. You're waiting for others to do their thing.
No, you're going to create a mess. You can't do that. You got to have them already rolled.
I have a little vacuum there.
Okay. All right. You whip out a little vacuum. Yeah. Well, that's organic.
You don't want to lose anything anyway.
That's true. That's true. You can then get it back inside the vacuum. Yeah. And that's all you're vacuuming.
Yes.
Okay. Like, let's make sure now. Okay. Don't you love the conversation that we started with here at 10 o'clock in the morning anyway? So we are out here at Hialeah Park. Smoke-free for now. Hell, we I don't know how long it's going to take to get recreational here. Holy crap. Although, if you vote for Nikki Fried, she's for weed. So, Fried for weed. That's all. I mean, DeSantis is probably going to go for president, right? So then you'll have Chris, and you'll have Nikki Fried for weed, and those people running, for office. But remember, Fried is for weed. I'm just telling you. Just saying. I don't know. Shouldn't that be her? If she starts using that as a campaign slogan, she has to give us some money here, right? I mean, we got to get something here, right? Freed for weed. I mean, come on. That's a strong campaign slogan. Freed for weed. I mean, come on. Chad says, perfect wake and bake intro. Waiting for that day, Pat in Nashville says, come on, Big O. Excuses are like a-holes. Everybody has one except Stephen Ross. He pays to have his food chewed and digested for him. Alexander says, good morning, just a little reminder that Brian Flores' new name is Karen Flores, and Stephen Ross's new name is Steve. I screwed up Ross, but hope all is well, Razzle Dazzle Crypto, Raging Dolphin Maniac, Pat in Asheville, Greater Good, Heat Fins, Steve Chapman, first in the house, Omar Lopez, Gus 1388, Peaster83. Morning, Big O. What was your first concert? Talked about this many times. Boston, Poco, Doobie Brothers. Long time ago. Long time ago. 70s, late 70s. What else do we have going on the chat board? Stephen Allen is in. GP Trap. Miami Sports Fanatic. Why did the chicken cross the railroad? To get to Hialeah Park. There we go. High Life. Louis Beltran says morning to everybody. Thank you, Louis. Tank is in and Miami Breaker. Thank you all. Cigar Social. Many stepping in. Don't forget all to hit the like button, subscribe to the program, hit the notification bell. Please also follow our second channel, Big O Show Cuts. More new what's it called? Interviews and sound bites were put on that site yesterday. And I think maybe even one came up this morning. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, right. This morning also. So, Wes Walker, right? I think was on that one, right? Was that or that was on Cuts, right? It was. Well, anyways, Matt Campbell, right? The offensive line coach is on Cuts, so you may want to check that out. So Frank Smith also. So there you go. So you go to also Big O Show Cuts. We're going to have live programming there. All right. You never know. I may do a show there. Sean may do a wrestling show there. You never know. So we may be doing some other stuff, and we will use that channel for live programming. That's why we need you to get us to 1,000. Okay. You want to help us grow? Hit the subscribe button on that one. Big O Show Cuts. And get us to 1,000, okay? Because once we get to 1,000, that allows us to go live mobilely from anywhere, okay? So it's very important to help us grow that way. Big O, did you hear Michael Portnoy is going to be Rush's new drummer? First of all, I never heard that Rush was going to get back at all. So I'm not sure where you heard that. I'd love for you to send me the official article of somebody reputable that is reporting that, because last time I checked, Alex Lifeson is actually on another band on his own. So Getty and Lifeson are not working together as Rush, and Portnoy is not going to be the drummer. I have not heard anything like that. And I was actually checking some of the music sites today. I would love for you to send me that, because I had not seen that anywhere. Okay. I'm a huge Portnoy guy too. Major Portnoy guy. That's one of my favorite drummers of all time. Big O with 13,300 and growing. Let's get it to 15,000 soon. Thank you, Miami Breaker. Yes, we need to get it to 15 and 20. Let's build the Dolphin, Heat, Canes, Marlins, Inter, Panthers, and overall sports and crypto nation up, baby. Crypto market, by the way, holding strong, even though there's a little tiny dip going on right now in the market. So, let's see. Big O, I am going to the Dolphins versus Philadelphia Eagles preseason game. I'm taking a poster that reads, "Ross, do us a favor and sell the team." I like you. Miami Sports Fanatic says, I just subscribed. Thank you. I said Inter. GP Trap, I did say Inter. I snuck in Inter there. I just didn't say Inter Miami. They would. I don't think she's there anymore, right? The PR person. And I don't know if it's one of their things, but I remember at times when some of our guys would say Inter, or I would say Inter, we would hear from the people on the other side of the soccer team, "Oh, please, can you call us Inter Miami?" And it's like, dude, what Inter are we talking about? I mean, give me a break. Come on. We're not talking Milan, bro. Come on. I mean, it just sometimes that's the problem when you get tied with the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that drive my ass crazy. It's like, let me do my job. You guys go do your job. Okay. That was kind of the problem. And it's a problem that we've all dealt with in our business, that when we're doing this, We have people above us that don't know jack shit about our business, and yet they're trying to tell us about how to do our jobs, and it's just, it's just one of those things. And I dealt a lot with that there and everywhere else, and I worked with some clown named Kakayud that wouldn't know anything about radio if it bit him in the ass. So, yeah, it's just one of those deals. Ragin says, maybe I should sell the team T-shirts. Should. Big O, let's be real. Most of the new owners buy a team nowadays to be a diva and keep their name all day floating. The owner you want are the original NFL owners that don't exist. No, dude, they exist. They're called Mickey Harrison. Well, how's Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu? All they do is spend money. All they do is back up their hockey people. All they do is every year adjust. Okay, this doesn't work. Well, then we're changing here. We're changing there. I just would like Stephen Ross to act more like Mickey Harrison and Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu. I don't even, dude, I don't have to go back 20 years or 30 or 50. I'm not telling you he has to act like the Rooneys, okay, which would be a layup. I right here, bro, right in our backyard. Viola and Sifu are model owners. Model owners. Oh, by the way, they do something that Stephen Ross doesn't do. They got to the second round. Last time I checked, right? Stephen Ross owned the team for 13 years. Has he gotten to the second round? No. Viola and Sifu already have, right? Correct? So, my brother, you don't need to go far. Right here in our backyard, we have two examples of exceptional owners that know how to handle, and they've done this now. Harrison's done it for 25 years, for a quarter century, and Viola and Sifu, where are they at now? 7 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years? I don't know what it is now. Time flies, and then you just don't realize. You know what I'm saying? Can you do from there what I do at home on the studio with Brooklyn Rob there? You double click it, it'll show up there, right? All right, double click it or click it or whatever it is. Right, exactly. And by the way, good morning, Brooklyn Rob. Thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, good morning, Big O and Sean. I'm not surprised Tua is having a great camp. He's finally healthy and has a competent coaching staff and weapons. The sabotage by Flores is evident. Great season coming. Exactly. So I'm with you 1,000%. Thank you, Brooklyn Rob. I appreciate you, my brother, as always, for supporting the hell out of us. And I like that new little feature that I ran into accidentally with a porn site. I had no idea you could do that.
I knew that the whole time. You can bring up any comment you wanted. I just didn't.
Oh, you bastard. Why don't you, if you're Mr. like extras, why don't you tell me about these extras?
Well, but you jump through them most of the time. So by the time we get the thing up, you would have to control it. So
right. Okay.
When we're not in the same studio.
So you're not Brian Flores as me. You're not sabotaging.
I'm not trying to sabotage you. No.
All right. I just want to check.
You've seen us sometimes when we don't know when you're going to hit it, and you hit it and I hit it, and then all of a sudden we think something's playing and it's not playing because we both hit it at the same time. That's what would happen if we did.
The Seaman yesterday was doing that. He all of a sudden started getting in there. I wasn't sure when he was in or out or whatever. And it was, we talked about it after. That was funny.
Did you see this one? Oh,
what?
The Pirates fan?
Let me see.
With the owner. Hold on a minute. Let me get the actual. So the owner taking pictures of Pirates fans, and the young fan says, "Sell the team," and he's got the shirt right there posing with the owner of the Pirates.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And he should sell the team because he sucks. He does nothing to win. He never does enough. And that's a beautiful little ballpark right on the water.
And he really looks like he does nothing to win. Yes. Like, if you look at him, I was like, I thought it was a minor league owner, honestly. I didn't know he owned the Pirates.
So ridiculous. So yeah, we don't have to go far for our owners. Just look right here in our backyard. We've got a couple that they set an actually perfect example on how to be an owner. Both of them. Okay? Even though, as much as I love Mickey, I It does bother me a little bit. We talk too much about taxes because, I don't have sympathy for billionaires. Don't cry poor to me. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Sean and I can cry poor. You can cry poor. We all live check to check, month to month. You know what I mean? Half year to half year maybe or something, if we're lucky. We can do that. And I can sympathize with all of you. I have no sympathy for a billionaire crying poor. And don't tell me about taxes and all that kind of stuff. I get a little tired of that. You know what I mean? So don't get into sports business if you're going to cry about money. Put it that way. If you're going to be an owner of a pro team that I love, don't ever cry about money. Then that means you're the wrong owner. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that bothers me a little bit with the whole Mickey talk and the people around, the whole tax thing. Oh, well, no, and you'll get a repeater tax. And oh my God. And so what, bro? Pay it. You want to win? Pay it. Take more chances. You got a lot of money, bro. You ain't taking it with you. That company you got can print it every damn day. Let's see. Pat in Asheville says it's really good sign that players have slimmed down, especially on the O-line. Miami won't be a smash mouth, but they look fast on paper, like greatest show on turf fast. Well, let's slow down there a little bit there, buddy. That was accomplished already. These guys have not accomplished.
To receivers or like the team wise?
I don't think I think he's just meaning the sense of speed. I don't think he's really comparing like Marshall Faulk to anything we have back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think he's saying that the attack of the greatest show on turf was based on speed and the carpet too, by the way, which really helped for them. But also Miami is kind of based on speed. So I think he's really talking more about the basic skeleton of what the greatest show on turf was and what these guys look like. But I don't think he's saying, right, I would imagine. I'm kind of going to read into your comment. You're not really comparing the two because we can't do that.
No. I got to tell you, though.
Yes.
I haven't been watching every practice because I usually do. But watching the practice yesterday, I don't know if they've implemented a lot of the
run schemes.
The run schemes and also the play actions off of those run schemes. Watching it yesterday, and you're starting to see more of the
misdirection,
the misdirections, the play passes, and let me tell you, Salvon Ahmed was feeding on that yesterday.
Yeah,
they were rolling one way and then coming back to the wide open receiver.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
or wide open running back at that point.
Right. Sure.
Just so much misdirection in that offense. It's just crazy.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
And that was without Tyreek. Without Waddle, basically only did a few. Gesicki only did goal line. So
play design. I told you, play design.
It's very interesting. And
it's all the stuff that I talked about last year that was missing from this team. You're going to see it now. You're actually going to see play design. You're actually going to see real play calling. They're going to be able to scheme the right way from one play to another and trying to set them up. I'm talking about the defense that they're facing. And there's going to be a high IQ to what's going on. It's like I told Travis Wingfield the other day, I said that I like your show because it's high IQ football talk. You know what I mean? And that's what you're going to see now. This coaching staff compared to the effing idiots you had in the building last year, it's different. You had kindergarten children running around the building last year. Now you've got grown-ass men that know what the hell they're doing, and that's the difference.
And the one thing I did like, too, was that it's making our linebackers cover a lot in practice. Again,
which is good for Tyndall because he needs a lot of practice.
Yeah,
in that
Tyndall
area.
and Duke Riley looked pretty decent yesterday.
I like Duke, man. He has continued to grow, and you got to love him as a talker.
Well, that's the thing that I think he brings to that group is he's kind of like the fire.
Yeah,
he's the fire of them too. Like he'll talk.
He has
it
a
up
conscience.
The whole time.
He gets it. Yeah. You know what I mean? His awareness. Duke Riley's awareness.
Yeah, he's a smart footballer. He said he looking to go into coaching after this.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's no doubt.
he's looking at this game totally different than what a lot of people are looking at.
There's no doubt that guy will be a coach after. Yes, I agree with that one. Good morning, Big O. Much love, brother. One day getting closer to Dolphin football. Well, we're already here, Steven. I'm already enjoying it, man. Yeah, there's football tonight, exactly. And I'll watch that sorry ass game tonight a little bit. And you know what? This leads me to my first subject that I want to talk about, because we're going to play Tua's press conference. And in one part, they're going to ask him about the whole Brady stuff, and they're going to ask him about being, you know, if he feels if the team is behind him, right? And he goes on to say, "Hey, I feel the team is behind me and the guys that are here in the building." And let me explain something, because one of our favorite words on the show, compartmentalize, right? And that's the problem here. We don't have enough compartmentalization going on here. And we have too many people lumping all the stuff into the same bucket of shit. Okay? And that bucket of shit is Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross is not the football team. Let me repeat again. Stephen Ross is not the football team. Okay? Bruce Beal is not the football team. They don't prepare the team. They're not in the locker rooms. They're not on the field. They're not in the practice field. They're not in the classroom. They're not in the training room. They're not putting in the hours to get the team ready. They're two meddling billionaire idiots that don't know jack shit about football. And what they know how to do is screw their own football team, like a lot of bad owners do in all of pro sports. When you have a bad owner, they meddle, i.e. Jeffrey Loria, and they screw things up. That's what they do. That's why they're bad owners, i.e. Dan Snyder. You get what I'm saying? That when you're James Dolan, there's a reason why the Knicks are the Knicks. There's a reason why the Washington Commanders are the Washington Commanders. And that's why 20 people are going to practice now. A team that was considered royalty in the NFL, the fan base now does not want any part of it because of Dan Snyder. And that's what bad owners do. And Stephen Ross, while he'll spend, on the flip side, he will do everything in his power to screw his own team over when it comes to personnel decisions. He's the one that decided to keep Parcells around. Instead of, when he took over, he should have fired everybody. Rest in peace, Tony Sperano. You had no business being a head coach. You were a position coach. End of story. Nothing wrong with that, but you had no business being a head coach. Jeff Ireland wasn't really suited to be a general manager at that moment. Even though he might know some personnel, he did not professionally know how to handle everything. Joe Philbin was a joke. All this stuff. He extends Joe Philbin's contract a year after a meaningless game at the end of the year against a Minnesota Vikings team, and that meant nothing whatsoever. You hire Mike Tannenbaum. You keep Mike Tannenbaum around. You allow Ndamukong Suh to sucker you in the middle of a Red Wings game, so you end up giving him a contract. And some of you idiots actually thought Ndamukong Suh was going to make the Dolphins defense dominant. This is the same idiot that goes and celebrates the Gators while the tenant in his building is the Canes. Stephen Ross has done everything he can to help his team off the field by spending money when his football people ask him. But he's also done everything in his power to screw his own football team over by meddling in football decisions. Because he loved Joe Philbin and he loved Adam Gase. And how did that turn out? And he hires a general manager now, and he spends half his time trying to screw over the general manager he hired, who has done a marvelous job on the personnel side. He screwed up in his first hire as head coach. Now let's see if he got it right. But it's hard enough to be a general manager. Now you've got to deal with that. And so when Tua says the team is behind him, he's right about that. He's 1,000% right, and he knows it. Because when he walks in that building, Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, and Reggie McKenzie are behind him. Mike McDaniel is behind him. The players are behind him. Who cares what Stephen Ross thinks? We're going to play this interview for you. We're going to cue it up now. But I wanted to thoroughly go over that answer because I find it that people are spinning it like there's doubts in there about him, and there's never been a doubt from the football people. Flo didn't like him. Flo's not here anymore. It doesn't matter what Flo thinks. Look at him now and look at the offense under these guys. You just heard Sean. And then go look at the clown show that happened here the last couple of years, especially last year. So Flo is not here. He doesn't matter. And Stephen Ross and Bruce Beal, by now, I mean, you all know that most of you forgot about football. What you forgot about football, Stephen Ross doesn't even know. Because people that listen to this show are hardcore sports fans. I'm not saying you're perfect, because none of us are, but most of us probably know a hell of a lot more than Stephen Ross. So Stephen is really good at opening his wallet up, but he's terrible when he wants to get involved in football decisions. So I don't care what Stephen Ross has to say or Bruce Beal, because they're not the football team. They just own it. That's it. Nobody roots for Stephen Ross. Nobody roots for Bruce Beal, and even less nowadays, considering we have to deal with their screw-ups over the next couple of years. So let's separate the two. Because when people say, oh, well, no, not everybody's no, every football person in the building is behind Tua. They've been behind Tua from the get-go, by the way. It was other factions in the building that were against it and weren't handling it the right way, i.e. Flo. And now the owner and Bruce Beal. So let's separate the two. Now, let's play Tua. I'm going to go over some of the comments from Tua's press conference yesterday addressing the media. But that one I wanted to clear up, because when it does come up, we're going to go into it, and I wanted to go into that one separately. All right, let's fire away. Let's go over Tua's comments with the media yesterday.
It was recently reported that you got married, and with family being so important to you, how special was that moment for your life? And congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very special. I don't know who ended up leaking it, but you must have been waiting outside the courthouse for an entire week or something. I mean, for me, I love to keep my life as private as possible, and that's what we tried to do with me, my wife, and my family. But obviously, in this world, that's not how it is. It's almost kind of disrespectful, if you will, by doing that. But it is what it is, and can't do anything about it. And guys, I have a wife.
And listen, it's not a big deal. It's public records. It gets out, whatever. He's a private guy. I get it. And, media is going to unearth it and any nugget of his. But in the end, what do I care? It's not a piece of news that I really needed to know, and I don't care. It's kind of silly, really, to be following that extreme. Those are things that, to me, I care more. I when I'm following this stuff, I care about the football stuff. Okay, and the only time I care about personal issues, if they're involving if they're getting involved in your football issues and they're getting involved in what you have to do. But outside of that, we really shouldn't care about somebody's personal life. You know what I mean? And especially a dude like Tua, he's a pretty straight guy, man. And it's not something you have to worry about. It's not a big deal. I find it kind of a silly story, to be quite honest.
No, and I wanted to add that the wife is even more private than he is.
Right.
The wife has every social media is locked, and you have to request to be on anything of her Instagram. She's very private as well.
Right. It's going to be only
really
family.
On the internet. People trying to figure out who she is. There's not a lot out there.
Right. Yeah. And that's, and like, why do you want to find out? Who cares, dude? Like, what's important for Tua? That he stays healthy and that he kicks ass on Sundays. All right. And that he's not a loser like Deshaun Watson. That he's not a disgusting, despicable, predator. That's what matters. Be a decent human being, lead your team, show some character, show leadership, and be a winner. And he has all of that. All he has to do now is finish the winning side of it. That's all. It's a silly story, and to be honest, to be after a story like this, it's a waste of time. Go ahead. You good there?
I mean, no girls for me, I guess, if you will. I mean, if that's the perspective. But yeah, I mean, same focus. Same focus. The season, what we got here in training camp.
So today I asked Coach Darrell Bevel about your accuracy and how he feels you're decent accurate in football. He said it was more of a feel thing for you. I'm curious, how do you train that feel to make yourself precise consistently with football?
Well, I would say I've been playing the sport, as long as I can remember since I was little. And that's something that my dad would train me to do every time I'd go out and throw with a teammate, a cousin, whoever it was. If my dad would stand and catch for me, an uncle would stand and catch for me, they'd always give me a spot that I had to throw it to. And my dad was very adamant at where the ball had to be every time. And so he made it known after practices, after games. And so I would say it stuck with me throughout my entire football career in college and then even in the NFL.
Tua recently, a 65-yard touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill went viral on social media. It was viewed more than 2.8 million times. I don't know if you knew that statistic, but why do you think there's such a fascination about that play and football and your connection with Tyreek?
Yeah, I think because people don't think I can throw the ball far. So I would say that's the fascination. Like, wow, he can throw the ball. It's kind of hard to be in the NFL if you can't throw the ball, right?
Let me address this and it was our boy Joe Shad, obviously one of our insiders, and Joe will be back. We're working on the business end of it. We're working with a new sponsor and all that stuff, so he will be back. So Joe asked that stuff, and let me explain because we have people right now on the chat board that also do the same thing, and we have some of our insiders also questioning the kid. And I've explained some of this over and over again. Let me ask you something. So everybody says, well, I don't know, is he going to be able to throw to Tyreek downfield because Tyreek's fast? Let me ask you something. Who wasn't fast at Alabama? Okay, thanks for the answer. You can't find anybody. They're all in the NFL. And they're all fast. And they're all first-round picks. Some of them are in jail for, lighting human beings on fire. But besides the point, the bottom line is on Saturdays, I saw him throw deep. On Saturdays, I saw him run an offense impeccably. On Saturdays, I saw him throw to really fast guys downfield in stride. And all of a sudden, somehow, some of you made it sound like, including my man Joe Shad and others, like he couldn't throw deep, that he doesn't have the talent to throw deep, like he's never done it before. Oh my God, Tyreek Hill, he's going to underthrow him because he's fast. All the guys he had in Alabama were fast. The difference is it looks like maybe the offensive line starting to perform better. It looks like maybe they actually have real offensive coaches that know how to coach the offensive line, that know how to play design, that they know how to actually structure it for an offense. They've got like a real quarterbacks coach named Darrell Bevel, who's actually coached Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm sorry, did Charlie Fry ever coach an NFL quarterback? No. He was working high school 7-on-7s. So it wasn't like he had worked with Brett Favre before or Russell Wilson or no, I'm sorry. That's not what he did. So now Tua has real coaches like he had in Alabama, a real structure like he had in Alabama. Oh my God, he has real talent around him like he had in Alabama. Not just Waddle and a whole bunch of injured receivers that Brian Flores loves. And then some of you are wondering, he's coming off a hip injury and you're expecting him to become himself like right away? No, it's a process. He's going to need to get healthy. So guess what, folks? We're about 2 years removed from it. Now he's fully healthy. Now he has support. Now he has real players around him. Now he has real coaching. Oh my God, he's looking good. He was never the problem. And I told you from day one, he was never the problem. He was unhealthy, and the atmosphere around him is not conducive to having success. It reminds me of Steve Young with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You kick ass with the LA Express. You go to Tampa Bay because they own your rights, and they're a mess, and you're a mess. And then you go to San Francisco, and you look terrific because you've got real coaching and real structure around you and everything else. Come on, man. That's the problem that has gone on with Tua from day one here. Do you know, go back and check it. It's there on YouTube. 2 years ago when that season is done and people are complaining about Tua. You know what I was saying about Tua? He had an excellent season. Not a good season. He had an excellent season. He had a winning record. He threw more touchdowns than interceptions. He had a pretty good completion percentage under the worst conditions. And he did a good job last year again under the worst conditions. And he was the only guy that had a winning record under Brian Flores, the guy that hated him. Think about that. The guy that hated him and wanted Jordan Love was so dead set on playing others, even Jabroni Brissett, and yet he doesn't go back and look at his record and say, damn, how come I can't win more than I lose with the other guys, but with Tua I win more than I lose? I wonder. That dude wasn't even smart enough to figure that shit out. Tua has never, ever been the problem. The problem is with you out there that you don't understand what the quarterback position is all about. And too many of you have fantasy football and fantasies in your mind that you think that every quarterback has to be 6'5", 235, and throwing it out of the building. And if you can't do that, you can't be a quarterback in the NFL, which is the dumbest thing in the world. Tua has never been the problem. The problem is the people around him and assessing him and not understanding what the hell they're watching and what's really wrong with the picture. It's not the quarterback. It's everything else around him. All right, let's continue with Tua addressing the media yesterday. at Dolphins camp.
To a recent ice yesterday, the NFL announced that they disciplined the team for tampering. Among that tampering was the teams, most with respect to Tom Brady, dating back to 2019. Obviously, you weren't here, but even in 2021, were you aware of this? What are your thoughts? And are there any discussions that need to be had between you and higher-ranking members of the organization?
Yeah, I would say everyone heard about it yesterday when we went into the locker room, seen it on the TV. For me, I have no idea about all the details other than what was shown on TV with the $1.5 million fine, and then something happening with Brady. I mean, I don't know all the details. I don't even know what happened. But, I mean, I got to talk to a couple of the guys, to kind of find out what was going on, and everyone's wondering the same thing, so I'm not too sure.
But no discussions with, I guess whether it's Chris Greer, Mike Daniel, or even Stephen Ross about your standing with the team, nothing like that?
What do you mean my standing with the team?
I mean, the fact that they spoke with Tom Brady on multiple occasions, which included the plan for the team.
Was that in 2019?
2019
that was in
2021.
Oh, okay. I remember I came in 2020, so whatever happened in 2019, I can't even speak on that. So I was here 2020, and I'm still here, and I'm blessed to be here. If it has to do with support from the team, I think the team's all in with me and all the guys that we have now.
And again, he doesn't need to talk with ownership group. That's where that question, I completely disagree with the question. He doesn't need to find out jack shit, dude. It's not the head coach looking for another quarterback. It's not Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, or Reggie McKenzie, and I can tell you that for a fact. They're not looking for a quarterback. They drafted their quarterback. It was all about Flo, who wanted Watson, and it's all about the ownership group that has done the other stuff with Brady. Has nothing to do with it. Asking about your standing is ridiculous. They just built the front office built the team around Tua. They proved that he's the guy. Again, a lot of people, including whoever asked that question, is not deciphering what's really going on here. The football people, okay, are locked in step with Tua. The non-football people, Bruce Beal, Stephen Ross, those are the guys playing fantasy football. And again, I don't give a shit what those two idiots think. They don't know anything about football, period. All they know how to do is embarrass the Miami Dolphins, the fan base, the team. That's all those two guys have proven to do. They can spend money, and they know how to embarrass the team. They have nothing to do with building the team, okay? Well, the only thing that Stephen Ross and Bruce Beal need to do is take orders from their football people and shut the hell up. Let's continue.
Yeah.
We know you're an old soul.
Yeah.
The playlist reflected that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, I was trying to figure out, which songs to play to, because there were a lot of slow songs that I wanted to put on, but I didn't think that it fit, a lot of the slow songs that I wanted to put on, because I still put on some slow songs. I didn't think it fit the guys out here working in the hot sun, and guys probably would have got even more mad at each other.
During the stretch, it's okay.
Oh, during the stretch, it's okay. You can play whatever.
So on the flip side of that, Mike has been saying that at all the meetings he says who the fastest player was at practice. Has Tyreek been winning that most of the time? And do you have a fastest time that you've clocked so far in that? Okay.
Yeah, well, they don't tell us the quarterback's times. I'm glad they don't. 'Cause we barely reach top speed at any practice. Tyreek has been up there as the fastest Dolphin player. Keon Crossan has been up there for the fastest player. And then we have it sectioned off. Christian Wilkins has won his big man fastest player. I would say Agba's won it. And then running backs, running backs, linebackers, the kind of mid skills. Raheem's been winning a couple. But, yeah, we got a lot of speed on the team.
Is it frustrating to show up every day knowing that you're putting in your best work every day and you're constantly having people criticize those deep balls or your accuracy? Is that frustrating to come to practice every day?
No, I would say it's not frustrating because I would say the only thing that gets frustrating is if you hear it every day or if you see it every day. So for me, I eliminate all of that. Don't hear it, don't see it. I go home, go to my family, study, wake up the next day, come back, enjoy football. Then I hear everything, obviously from the media. And then when Ann preps me, for whatever you guys are going to say, then I'm like, I got to answer this. All right, let me figure out something politically correct to say. So...
This is one thing that I don't think I've seen anybody talk about, and he dropped a bomb right there on everybody. And he basically just told the entire media, stop trying to bait me, dude. Did you ever see Derek Jeter? Did you watch Tony Gwynn? Did you watch Cal Ripken? Did you watch some of those guys that are just impeccable? And they knew how. Russell Wilson. Have you watched those guys? Right? Those guys that I could never be. Not athletically. I'm talking about being an absolute, I don't know, just ice in your veins, never reacting on anything, never getting baited for anything, never getting pissed off about anything, never letting somebody have it or anything. Like I could never do that. Okay, so I'm so imperfect it's not even funny, and I will admit it every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But not those kind of guys, not the Tim Tebows, not those kind of guys. He just told you. And it's the truth. He doesn't give a crap about what's going on outside. Doesn't tune it in. He tunes it completely out. And then, obviously, Ann, who does an excellent job, I'm sure she goes over and tells him, hey, look, this, and this. And then he just told you, oh, okay, now I got to come up with something PC to tell you. And Derek Jeter never told you that. Tony Gwynn never told you that. Russell Wilson never told you that. Tim Tebow never told you that. Cal Ripken never told you. Those perfect guys, they never told you that, dude, you're not baiting me. Here's your little PC comment and go away. Tua just told you what he's going to do and how you're not going to bait him and how he doesn't care what you think and he doesn't care about what you write. And he doesn't care what's trending on social media. And none of that bothers him because he doesn't read it. He truly doesn't see it. That's not the truth for a lot of the other athletes. They read it, they see it. That when they tell you they don't, they do. But that kind of dude, there's only a few of those kind of guys. They truly tune your ass out and they don't care. Tim Tebow's like that. He just doesn't care. I'm not telling you he's the player that Cal Ripken was or Russell. I'm not saying any. I'm talking about compartmentalizing, coming off the field, off the pitch, off the ice, off the hardwood, and you then face those questions and you water off a duck's back. And those people are impeccable that I keep mentioning. And we've all admired them. Every one of us have admired those people because they stayed the same person their entire damn career. I mean, the moment Peyton Manning said our idiot kicker got liquored up, we all freaked out because, right? Because he never would do that. But it took an idiot liquored up kicker for him to actually say, we're like, because he was so impeccable. Right? And yet Peyton loosened up a little bit more as time went on too. You know what I'm saying? But But he was kind of in that zone, and then he stepped out of it. And that's exactly what would happen with all those other guys if it ever happened. But it just doesn't, man. Hank Aaron is, no matter what was going on and all the racism and everything, and Hank Aaron was the same stoic dude that you're like, my God, I could never be that guy. I could never handle all of this the way he does. It's just certain people, they have that gift. That's this dude. This dude doesn't care. He really doesn't. And he told you already, hey, chumps, you can try to bait me. I'm going to give you the answer you don't want every single time.
And honestly, the first response in this press conference was basically a version of that, because he knew coming up, because Durham Smythe was interviewed right before him.
Right.
And I forgot who it was, but somebody had asked, did you know that Tua got married? So, and Ann and Tua were walking up at that time. So they got wind of it, and then they walked around. So Tua knew what was coming. And then that's when he had that response, because he knew exactly what was, it's just one of those things to where he just doesn't care. He's a very private person.
Right.
But that's what he's going to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew it was coming. He knew, and it was, I'll tell you now, it was discussed way before that in the room.
Right.
Everybody's like, I'm not a lot of them were like, no, I'm not touching this.
Right. Because
I'm not touching this. But then
it's not a story like to me, I wouldn't want to break that story, because I don't know who broke it, but it doesn't matter to me. It just, like, it's a nothing story. It's a personal story, dude. I've never been the guy that reports on personal stuff anyways. I care about you getting traded, you're starting, you're benched, you're playing well, you're not playing well, you're having issues, you're whatever, football related,
100%.
And like I said, only personal issues. Oh, you're beating on your wife or girlfriend, or you're getting arrested, or you're, something stupid that, affects your playing career. That's it. But your personal life, I don't care about it, bro.
No, because when he walked up, he had a smile on his face, like, okay,
let's go.
It, because I know what's coming. Let's
bring
go.
it.
And then it was the first one out of the gate.
It's the same, it reminds me of the pressure bullshit that they say to him. Oh, there's more pressure on Tua. These athletes, they feed off of this, dude. Tyreek wants pressure. He wants it to be harder. He wants to pop through whatever it is. Jalen Phillips, all of these guys. The guy that is succumbing to pressure is not the guy you want. But the high-end athlete, it's Edwin Moses, and he says, oh, well, Hitler's there? Well, screw you, Hitler. Here you go, bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's Jim Abbott saying, a piece of shit Castro's here? I'll mow all those mother effers down. And that's where you see the great moments. Is it Mary Lou Retton, or it wasn't Mary Lou Retton. It was Strug. It's Strug on one foot in a gold medal moment for the Olympics, and she's running up that it's not a beam, it's what's that thing that horse or whatever, and she does and she lands impeccably on an ankle that's completely fractured. And you're like, Kelly Strug, I think it was, right? Carrie Strug. Yeah, and you're like, Carrie Strug, you are one of the greatest athletes I have ever seen in my life. That is one of the gutsiest performances. I don't care what sport it is, ever. Athletes eat this up. The athlete that's afraid of pressure is not a high-end athlete. He's not. He's not. You think Deion Sanders ever felt pressure? Might have a little butterfly in there, but he's eating up the moment, dancing, looking forward to it. You think Marino was nervous? Oh, dude, Marino wanted to attack you. You think Zonka was nervous? You think Barry Sanders is afraid? Come on, man. Tom Brady wants to cut your heart out. It's this whole thing. It's just so silly. And if you're around enough elite athletes, you will know that they feed off the pressure. They want the moment to be bigger. They want to be in the center stage. How in the hell do you want to, how can you be afraid of pressure when you want to be a quarterback? You know, come on. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, I would say I've always had that. The only thing is I've never shared it. I've always had it inside. Like, I'd be humble, but at the same time, in my mind, you wouldn't know that, like, I'm out there to still do what I want to do. Like, you know, compete, obviously, throw a lot of touchdowns, you know, and a lot of other things. But, yeah, I mean, being a little more vocal with it has been something that I just, you know, started to.
Yeah, do you feel like you're trying to kind of project that more?
I wouldn't say I'm trying to project it more, but, you know, I just don't want people to get the misconception that being humble is being the nice guy all the time, because that's not necessarily what it is, to me, at least.
When we look at it, Derek was quiet. I'm talking about Jeter. And there's a lot of the great athletes that he's right about that. The being humble is, remember when he talked about being a silent assassin? That's Dwayne Wade's like that too. You know, kind of the quiet, unassuming, the baby face smile, all that. And then when the fourth quarter rolls around, he wants to cut your freaking heart out. And, you know, Wade became a little bit more vocal as he grew up a little bit more, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of these athletes, and he was just talking about it. Just because you're quiet, you think that you're the nice guy and you're the guy that, you know, you're not taking it as serious. You don't have the same edge, okay? Because we all need an edge, right? And he has that edge. But his edge is different than, let's say, Deion Sanders' edge was. You understand? A lot different. His was more vocal, bravado. It was more outgoing. His is a little bit more subdued. Joe Montana's the same way. Joe Montana was a quiet guy too. Another one of those quiet assassins. He wasn't a rah guy or anything like that. No. Now, Marino, fiery all over the place, pointing fingers, whatever, mother effing you if he has to. You know what I mean? Different type of guy. But I think he's right about that we have a little bit too much of sometimes, you know, Steph Curry. Oh, well, he's such a nice kid. And, oh, he's been fragile, this, that. And then now you watch him, and now you still say he's a nice kid, but he has his silent assassin moments, right? Every once in a while, he'll say a little something and light a fire under somebody. Let's continue.
No. Oh, man. No. Gosh. No, Tyreek that's his own. He's his own person. He's unique. He's different. He's fun. But I wouldn't say me and Tyreek are very similar.
Coach Bevel was speaking earlier today about how a quarterback almost has to do like a math equation in their head as a play is developing, which I thought was a cool analogy. How high do I throw it? How far do I throw it? How much space is there? What's the speed of the receiver? Tell me your thoughts on that as it relates to figuring out exactly where the ball needs to be placed, especially with new guys.
Yeah. I think that's the good thing about having OTAs, being able to throw the ball to them, work on timing with those guys, and then some of the deep balls, you know, you kind of chuck one out there, see who can run under it, see who can, and then you kind of work your way back down from that. But like I said, we've all, you know, in our quarterback room and quarterbacks across the league, we've all been playing the sport for, however long and ever since we were little. So it's something that almost comes natural to us.
What's been your impression?
Yeah, I would say I'm comfortable, but that doesn't mean that we take off days with not studying, not continuing to talk to the guys, not continuing to come up here on an off day, talk to the coaches about some of the things that we see. I think that's the cool thing this year too, is we have a lot of open conversation with our quarterback room and with the head coach, with the receivers, and it's really dependent on what we like in a quarterback room. If a route is drawn a certain way, and that's how Mike has been running it, for 17 years, and we say, through our experiences the past 2 years, just giving an example, I like this play ran this way. I feel more comfortable with that play ran that way. I mean, without hesitation, he's going to do that to the liking of our room.
Final question.
Communication, interesting, huh? Interesting how there's input now this year, and one of the things that a lot of you made up this whole thing about, captain and all that bullshit. When we talk about a player that is not accepted by his head coach and not shown confidence by his head coach because the head coach up to a point thought he could win with Jabroni Brissett instead. Think about that. And think about this. You're surrounded by a bunch of people that don't have experience, teaching a young quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience. And yet you're also not taking any of the input from them. Doesn't make any sense. And when you look at it, this is why you see a different Tua also, because Tua is accepted by the football people and the head coach because they believe in him and they support him. And so now he has a comfort level now. It allows you, remember, let's say those of you that have had best friends in your lives, okay? Those of you that have grown up with a friend that either he came to your house or she came to your house or you were going to their home, right? And it gets to a point where they're so comfortable they can go to the fridge and grab a Coke. That ever happened? You ever had a best friend like that? I have a best friend. Well, Bill was that guy. Bill could go grab a drink he didn't have to ask me. He would always, he would say, hey, can I grab a Coke? Yeah, bro, go. You know what I mean? It wasn't, hey, can you get me a Coke? No, it was, he'll go get it. Didn't matter. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that when you get in that comfort zone, you can do what you want because the people around you love you, support you, and say, hey, you're one of us, man. Go ahead, grab something to drink there. Right? That's happened. Right? Some of us have had those kind of relationships. Well, last year, Tua couldn't go to the refrigerator and get a drink anytime he wanted. Flo had a lock on the refrigerator. He had a combination on the microwave. Yeah, he had a master lock on the oven. I mean, it was rough go for Tua. Couldn't go to the kitchen at all. Just didn't have a comfort zone. And that's because when someone doesn't accept you, it's pretty obvious. Why would I want to be a captain for you, dude? Screw you, bro. All you're trying to do is throw me under the rudders. You're trying to throw me under the engine. You want me to get, chopped up by the propellers. That's what you're doing here. We're in the swamp. You're throwing me over as gator bait. Why would I want to be a captain for you? Watch him. He's going to want to go through a wall for Mike McDaniel. Let's continue.
Kind of mentioned touching on the new guys, new receivers a little while ago. What have you seen out of Braylon Sanders and Eric coming in as rookies? Have you been impressed with them so far?
Yeah, I've been very impressed with them. They have very good ball tracking skills. They're long and they're fast. They're fast for some pretty lanky guys. They'll insert. I think the hardest thing for them is just transitioning with hearing the play calls in the huddle, knowing where to be. But other than that, very impressive, throughout the OTAs and throughout the first couple of days of training camp.
Maybe a little under the radar.
Oh, yeah, I would say definitely under the radar. Those are definitely dark horses for our team, those two.
I like what I've seen from both Braylon Sanders and especially Eric Ezukama. That has been a really nice. Again, I think the Dolphins have a hell of a front office. I really do. DJ Gallagher giving us a little love. He says, Big O, I owe you a massive thank you. Your honey lemon concoction has been a lifesaver after a long speaking week. Thank you, bro, for sharing. Well, wait a minute. Hold on, DJ Gallagher. Okay. You can't thank me, dude. You got to thank the people on the chat board that suggested it, because they suggested it for me, which then, of course, has in turn gone for you, and it does help. And in fact, this morning, I felt so bad for my wife. I didn't wake her up so I can get my concoction, because she makes it for me every morning, and so I didn't want to wake her up. I felt bad, so I said, well, I'll suck it up. So I'm going through the show without my concoction, only with water. Okay, water's the only thing. So DJ, you're ahead of me today on that. No concoction for me today. No honey and lime. But I'm glad it's working for you, man, because it does. It really does soothe the throat. All right, 1 hour down. Little over. Well, it's about an hour, right? Because we started late, actually, now that I think about it. That's right. It's just a little bit over. All right, 1 hour down. Alan Poupart will join us in hour number 2 at 11:30. So give us 2 minutes to rest the voice. We're back to start off hour number 2 of the program right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Hialeah Park.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, hour number 2 of the program from Hialeah Park. I see my man Antoine Staley is the Jets beat writer now, huh? How about that for the New York Daily News? Good for him, man. Good for him. I want him to settle down, man, because he's been moving around a lot. Antoine, congratulations, man. I saw that news. Good for you, man. You're a good dude, man. He has been grinding for many years. One of the good people in our business, man. Let's see. A few months back, you mentioned bringing on a second producer to work with Sean. You still looking? Where's a man got to apply? Ha, ha, ha. Actually, the second producer is online right now. He's in the works and training, actually. So, yes. So we are expanding the family, and we are in the process of adding to the family. You will eventually, I don't know if you could see him one day or maybe hear from him one day, but eventually you'll hear from the Seaman. He will be unleashed at one point or another, I would imagine. Marky Mark says Tua has to ball out this season. I'm positive he will. Lizzie Finns fans, didn't Tua not put his name in because he didn't want to spend time with him? It's not so much that. It's just, why would you want to be a captain for that guy? You can't back people up that are backstabbing you, and you know it, and that's the thing. So, Big O, imagine doing what if segment where Flo had gotten his wish and drafted Jordan Love along with Brady, Watson, Peyton, BS. I'm just why even play the what if? And the Brady tampering is like tampering for years. Because, of course, Bruce Beal, buddies. DJ says, thank you to the chat boards. You guys are truly life-saving. Yes, they are. We got a great family out there that downloads the show every day. That obviously a hardcore family that watches live every day and growing. And we really appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all, man. Ragin says, why didn't you make it the night before? Then you don't have to wake her up. No, dude, because you want it fresh. Yeah, bro. No, you want it fresh. You don't want it sitting all overnight and all that. No, man. No. You want it fresh. Okay. Ex-Idol. By the way, I should have mentioned this to you. Big O Radio Show is the email at yahoo.com. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Send me your resume there. Okay. If you have experience and everything, send it to me. You never know. We might need a third producer down the line. Never know. You never know. So bring it on. And do you live here, by the way? Also, that's the other thing. Do you live here in South Florida? Because, we might have road appearances, things like that. We might need multiple producers on some things that we're doing. I think we might need multiple producers on that Dolphin show. You're going to be handling like 4 cameras and the broadcast and everything. You know what I mean? I got to be concerned with Sean because Sean wants to do everything. And most of the time he can't. But you gotta take care of the man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we might need actually a second producer even for some live things that we've got working. So you never know. And if something else that I know is going to go on, which would be a 7th day in the week, we'll definitely need the extra producer for sure. So because C-Man will be obviously first up, and then what he can't do, and then that's when that third producer might come in. So you never know, ex-idol. Send me that resume, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. And by the way, if your business wants to be a part of our platform and you want to, get some great branding, and you want to reach an audience locally, statewide, nationwide, even internationally, 786-754-4664 is our business number. That's 786-754-4664. Jamie says, Big O, Sean, and Finn's Nation from Torreon, Mexico. Another week visiting family, so I'm loving it. Finn's family and Finn's news, living the life. Bradley says, thank you, Big O. You get me through my day every day of the week. We don't miss segments around here. Thank you. Very nice of you. Brooklyn Rob, any word on the round table? Brother, we are this close on it. Like this close. We have the location. We have one of the sponsors. We are finishing up another of the co-sponsors, which I spoke to a potential one yesterday that wants to be a co-sponsor of our Dolphins Roundtable show. And we are doing it at a big-ass bar. So it's going to have a lot of space. It's going to be really cool. It'll be once a month. We'll have a 90-minute roundtable live on YouTube, multiple cameras. And then everybody, the beat writers and myself, will hang out a half hour after to take pictures and hang out with you guys and ask any questions. So you'll get a chance to meet some of the beat writers like, Cameron Wolf or Omar Kelly or Marcel Louis Jacques or Alan Poupard, Joe Shad, all that stuff. And who knows, we might be adding more to the mix. You never know. You know how it is on this show. It ain't going to stop. That's for sure. How about I take Omar's spot on the Insiders Report? There you go. I need some of that honey and lemon. Well, Dizzy, make it, baby. Make it. Big O, do you go all the home games? I'm coming down to Fort Worth to see the Finns. We go to no home games, sir. We do pre- and post-game shows. So we're at a bar. So you have to come to the bar either before the game, which is probably not an ideal thing. It's after the game. You'll have to visit us at the bar, and I would love to see you there. Okay? All right. What else do we have going on? By the way, we won again yesterday. 21-9 in our last 30 selections in our liquor split matchup of the night. And the last two, I've taken the Marlins. Yesterday, I laid 1.5 runs, and the day before, I took 2.5 runs. So, we're not going to, it's not like making it easy. I'm still trying, no Marlins today, and I'm not going to lay a bet on preseason football. So I'm looking at the baseball slate still, and I haven't decided yet. I'm not ready yet to give you my liquor split matchup of the night. But we're 21-9 against the spread in our last 30 picks against the spread, okay? 21-9. That's a pretty damn good clip against the spread. So give me a little bit. I'm thinking of what I'm going to select for my liquor split matchup of the night. And I'm looking at the baseball slate and trying to pick something out of the baseball slate. All right, a man that's always got a baseball hat on, because baseball has been very, very bad to him as a Montreal Expos fan. Let's go. And let's go to our Sports Grill, Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupard. With locations throughout South Florida, Sports Grill is the home of the special grilled wings. Check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupard.
There he is. He's ready to go. Dolphins are off today, so Alan gets to hang out at home with the Montreal Expos hat and just write story after story after story after story. That's what he does. How you feeling, my man? Good morning.
Good morning to you. Hey, I got one for you. If you can't find a good baseball game to lay your pick on, how about a CFL game we got tonight? Winnipeg at Montreal.
What's the line? I
I
dude,
have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know.
Looked at the schedule.
If the Canadian can't help me with that, I'm screwed, bro. I don't follow the CFL at all, man.
That's a good point.
So I gotta, at least baseball, I watch it, maybe kind of half-ass, unfortunately, because I don't follow baseball like I used to. You know what? It ends up becoming my business, and like the people that I broadcast to dictate what I got to do. And so it says football, it says basketball, it says Canes, and then everything else is kind of, it all depends. It's outside of that, everything else is, it's up to you now. We were able to talk Panthers because they made us, finally talk some Panthers, which is really cool. But it's hard to force that baseball talk, dude. It's just hard.
Yeah,
almost impossible.
So let's talk football then.
That's right. But by the way, 21-9 in my last 30.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, bro.
Props to you.
We are riding, and we actually won. We took the Marlins in our last two games. Marlins minus 1.5 runs. They won 3-0. And then the day before, they were plus 2.5. I took the 2.5 runs, and they ended up winning. So what the hell, man? It helps out. All right. You've got about a week under your belt now. I heard some silliness, some overreaction in the mini camps from other people, not from you. And people were talking about how it's not so organized, or it didn't look good, this, that. So if you had to assess the first week, how did it look? How organized was it? How would you compare it to the first week of a Brian Flores training camp? So talk to me about what you've seen in the first week under Mike McDaniel compared to what you saw the first week, let's say last year under Brian Flores.
Yeah, and you know what? I get those questions all the time, and it's like, God, I've been doing this for more than 30 years. They pretty much all look the same. I mean, it's like, it's not like there's one coach who comes in.
They're a lot less physical now than they were 20 years ago.
Well, no, correct. But I mean, from year to year,
right?
And just because it's a new head coach, because he's getting all these kudos for the practice is really organized. They don't waste any time. Well, they said that when Adam Gase first came in. They said that when Brian Flores first came in. It kind of looks the same. I mean, there's no. If you want to say something, it looks very, very organized. That's like there's not a whole lot of wasted time there. They go from like one rep to another, like really, really quickly, as fast and as I've seen, as I recall, if not faster, maybe. There's like I said, very, very, very little wasted time, wasted motions, wasted moments in the practice. But for me to sit here and say it's like groundbreaking, brand new evolution, it looks like a training camp.
Right. No, but I mean, is it so? But are you satisfied with it being organized? Is it organized enough for you? Is it unorganized? Is it clean, the practices for you? Talk to me about what you've seen overall in the first week. What would you tell the Dolphin that you're seeing? What kind of a football team are you seeing right now? Not that it determines what they're going to be in the regular season. I'm just saying the structure that you're watching right now. That's all.
Yeah. Again, to me, it doesn't look a whole lot different. I will say this, that I do recall training camps with a lot more false starts and offsides, for example. I've seen very few of those, which is a good sign. I've seen a hell of a crap load of high shotgun snaps, even though they don't necessarily go completely over the head of the quarterback. They're high. I mean, and there's a ton
by the way, Tua made a really nice throw on a high snap that was a skinny post. And he threw a perfect pass, but it was a terrible snap, man. And I was talking about this. I think if it rolls into next week, you have to start center hunting, don't you? Because if it goes into a second week, right? The first week, I kind of give you a break. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you a break because this is new to you. But by the second week, I need to see that. I need to see. Yeah. I understand when the young quarterback is in and there's been some mishandling. But when it's the other two guys, that's when I'm kind of, whoa, wait a minute here, okay? Those two guys are experienced. I get the young kids, so I may not
I may not be able to blame Connor sometimes. It might be the young kid struggling with some of that, but the other two quarterbacks, that's what it scares me at times. It really does.
Here's the big difference, though. With Thompson's issues have all been with the quarterback center exchange.
Right, understand.
Well, with the high shotgun snaps, I don't recall seeing one of them where it was Skyler involved. It's always been Teddy or Tua.
Okay.
By the way, I do remember the throw that you're talking about, and absolutely that was Tua's best throw of that practice. And by the way, I want this on the record.
I like that throw better than the deep ball.
Okay. I agree. But I want and I even in my practice report,
that's a window throw inside the middle of the field on a pressure situation where you had to adjust that. The deep throw, look, I'm glad that's for people to see the deep ball, whatever, bro. But that's something that's nothing for him. I think that's a normal throw for him. That throw right there, that skinny post throw, that was a badass throw, dude.
Okay, let me make my point here because it's a very important point I need to make. Okay. First of all, number one is when I did my practice observations that day, I pointed that one out as his best throw of the practice. Number two, it's funny because I'm supposed to be the great Tua hater and all that.
Yes, you are.
And I wrote, in the practice observations for that day that I thought he actually had a very good practice. And the following day, which was yesterday, he's the one who was wearing the orange jersey. So maybe I'm not such a hater after all, and then I can recognize when he does good work, and I will write as such. So anyway,
dude, to me, what's coming up with Tua now is that he's completely healthy and he has real structure around him, bro. He has real structure on him, which he didn't have, and it doesn't allow him to be comfortable. It doesn't allow him to go out and be himself and stuff. Now he can go out there and be himself, and he has people. The football people believe in him. That's all that matters. Flo's not here in the building anymore, and whatever the goofy-ass owners want to do, that doesn't matter to him either. It's what McDaniel thinks and what Chris Greer thinks, and those guys believe in him. And I think that's what he's rolling off of, and he's fine with that. And that's all he needs right now to carry him.
Okay, that's your assessment. I'm not ready to make that leap yet. I am reserving judgment, as I've always done with him, until we see like stuff that's a lot more meaningful than training camp. I would say, because let's not blow it up and say he's lighting up training camp, because that's would be stretching it as far as I'm concerned. He's looked solid. He's had some days where it's not been so good. He's had a couple of really good practices. But let's wait a little bit. Let's see how he does against Tampa Bay in the joint practices.
Sure.
Preseason game, I don't know exactly how much he's going to play. I know Todd Bowles has already said Brady's not playing for the Bucks.
Why would he?
Correct. No, correct. I would think Tua would play. That's not been discussed yet with.
He has to play some. He has to play because they need it. They need it. They have to assess it. And they have to run their offense with him and all that. With Brady, they don't have to. It's already been run for the last couple of years. They don't need to prove anything else. It's pretty much status quo that's in there because Leftwich is running the show, and that's been his guy from the get-go there in Tampa. So I don't think that's an issue. But, yeah, he will have to play some against Tampa, and he needs it. He needs it. Now, here's what I would tell you. If you look at his first week now under – all these guys, and then his first week last year, how do you compare it, right? Is it a different everything, not just the player, just everything around? Is it a better week for him when you look at it?
I would say slightly better.
Now let me follow up with this.
Go ahead.
Hasn't Austin Jackson had a better week his first week than he ever has in his first 2 years?
No question, but he's in. But we knew that, and then we've discussed this before. It's not only the coaching and development, also he's in a scheme that's a much better fit for what he does, without question.
Right, but environment, bro. Environment is
I'm not buying the environment crap, with all due respect. I'm not buying that. No, it's a better scheme for Austin Jackson.
Steve Young at the LA Express, then go to Tampa, and then go to San Francisco, and you see the difference. You know what I mean? If the environment ruins who you are at times. It just is. And you watch Austin Jackson, who is playing better now. Dude, the practice he had, what was that? It was Tuesday, right? Tuesday. That was the best practice I've ever seen him have. Tuesday. Have you ever seen him practice better than he did on Tuesday?
I couldn't tell you that. But again, let's wait until the joint practices. Okay?
I get it, but like he always looked bad. Practice, joint practices, games, preseason. There was never any moment that Austin Jackson ever made you feel good, is my point. And on Tuesday, I was like, holy shit. Like, wow, this guy's actually pretty decent. Now, I'm not telling you he was dominating or anything like that, but it looked like he was like doing all his assignments. In fact, in that practice, Eichenberg had an ugly play, whereas Austin did not have any ugly plays.
Okay. It's very early, and to me, if Austin Jackson makes improvement in 2022, which I expect it's going to have to do with the scheme, players get on the field and all that stuff about environment and all that. I don't buy that. I don't buy that crap. I give it 0.3% of an impact.
That happens to us. Sometimes you work at places where the environment isn't good and you can't do anything about it sometimes. And it hurts your performance too at the same time. I mean, that happens.
Game starts, you're not thinking about environment. Sorry, don't believe that. And then this is guys like Durham Smythe made the point yesterday when he was asked about whether there was any tanking going on in 2019, which wasn't from a player standpoint. Well, and he said like every game we put on film is basically our career. That's our resume and all that. So you think just because you hate Brian Flores, you're going to be like, oh, no, you're going to put out. And if anything, you're going to be like, yeah, let me show that Meffer that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. That I'm going to do my job.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. That's something that I've talked about for many years, that tanking is ridiculous because players can't do that because that's their resume. And if you happen to have a guy that is doing that, well, that guy usually is not in the league very long. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, when I go out there now, the last week, I watch guys run routes. And when I watch Preston Williams' body language out there compared to a Trent Sherfield or Waddle or whatever, it's a different player. And you see it. So really, there aren't tankers. They're just lazy players out there at times.
Correct. Or front runners who need to have things handed to them. And let me address the tanking point. The Dolphins easily could have tanked without tanking in 2019 just by keeping Josh Rosen in the lineup at quarterback. There was zero reason to play Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's right. You're right. You could have called it. You could have called it completely a developmental year. Hey, we're going to play Josh Rosen, and we're going to play him.
See what we have in him.
We need to find out if he can really play. We got to put him in every situation possible and all that. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. How do you think this whole thing with Stephen Ross continues now? Because he already had a shaky relationship with his fan base. I can't see him being accepted ever again by this fan base unless they win a Super Bowl. I don't think this owner will ever be viewed as a positive. I think he's always going to be viewed as a detriment, no matter how much he spends. But he gets in the way of the football decisions, whether it's extending Philbin, whether it's keeping Parcells and company around when he took over, Adam Gase, and now this whole mess here and trying to recruit Brady and company. How does that guy ever make it up with the fans outside of a Super Bowl? Can he ever do it? And what would you suggest to Stephen Ross on how he should handle some of this?
Lay low. That's how he should handle it, which is what he's been doing. Here's the thing, though. The team starts winning. Is any Dolphin fan going to give a crap about Stephen Ross at that point? I don't. And here's
not until the draft next year. That's it.
No, correct. But here's the other point. You can't be pissed at Stephen Ross right now for what he did, regardless of how he went about it, and then complain about him not trying to do everything he can to bring the Dolphins to the Super Bowl, because the dude is trying.
Yeah,
but he has not tried the right way, but he has tried.
Your job is to try. Your job is to try when your football people ask you, "Hey, we need this." Sign the check, shut up, and go back to your box. Nobody's asking you to get in the way and go talk to Ndamukong Suh in a Red Wings game, and then you fall in love with the guy, so you've got to sign him. That's the problem with
Yeah.
Stephen Ross. He's got to get away from the football decisions. He has to do what the football. In other words, Chris Greer went and hired Mike McDaniel on his own, not with Stephen Ross's help. That's the way it should be. And it's not Stephen Ross interviewing Joe Philbin or Adam Gase, and we don't need to hear his opinion. He shouldn't be part of the process, is my point. And that's the thing. When you want to extend Philbin after a meaningless win against the Vikings, that's a bad owner, bro. It's a bad owner. And that's my point. He's got to stop. As much as he's willing to spend, which God bless him, he's willing to spend, and Bruce Beal, you've got to stay away from the football decisions. Let the football people do the football things. You be the fan that writes the checks. That's it.
I don't disagree with any of that.
What's Viola and Sifu do, bro? The same thing. They're the owners that write the checks. They're not demanding on who they sign or whatever. No, they listen to their hockey people, and then they do whatever the hell their hockey people want them to do, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that that's what Mickey Harrison, the same thing. In fact, Mickey one time from what we all know, meddled a little. You know what it was? Tyler Johnson.
Okay.
He wanted to give Tyler Johnson the contract and match the contract from the Nets, which was a stupid deal. And there you go. This is what happened. That the one time he meddled.
Yeah. Owners can't be fans. And then I was in the locker room when you referenced the Philbin extension after that meaningless win against the Vikings. And the way he presented it was, I'm going to give you guys, talking to the media, like a holiday present. So you won't have to be chasing a coaching change story. We're extending Philbin. And this was like, there was a week left in the regular season. They already were eliminated from playoff contention. And I think I remember like all of us going, why? And then he fires Philbin like 4 games into the following season.
Right. Yeah. And that's that. And to me, that's the thing. It's how do you make up for it now? If you're Stephen Ross outside of, I guess you're right. He has to just completely stay away. But here's the other thing. How does this set up Bruce Beal down the line? Because I don't think anybody in the Dolphin Nation after this mess wants that guy as the owner anymore either. Like they're stuck with him, right?
Yeah, but dude, you know, fans are not going to care if the Dolphins start winning who the owner is.
Right.
And especially what Beal hopefully has learned is he needs to do things the right way, and he needs to not get
in the way,
overly involved, get in the way. Yeah.
I mean, that is
all
right.
I don't buy this notion that fans overly care about the owner as long as the owner does not interfere or impede the progress of the team. And unfortunately, the argument certainly could be made that there has been some impediment to the progress of the franchise.
All right. Nobody is made it of these young guys and street free agents and draft picks. And you can say, oh my God, they've made it. They're going to be awesome. But give me a guy that's either a draft pick, that's a street free agent, somebody that they not a high level free agent. I'm not talking about Teron Armstead or something. I'm talking about the lower end guys. Give me somebody that's caught your eye. You're like, you know what? This guy might just make an impact this year. He might just help out. Who is it?
Well, the nature of camp early on without the pads, it helps the passing game. So the focus would be DBs. The guys who jump out at me, there's 3 wide receivers, and we've talked about him. Eric Ezukanma is really, really impressive. Braylon Sanders is really impressive. And I'll give you my dark horse for that 6 wide receiver spot. If they keep 6, is River Craycraft or I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. If it's Crawcraft or Craycraft.
It's Craycraft.
Craycraft. Okay, that's what I thought. But I think he's my dark horse to be that 6 wide receiver. Those 3 guys have stood out. Trill Williams has impressed the hell out of me. A cornerback who's kind of like a lesser name because last year they claimed him off waivers from New Orleans as a rookie free agent. And he looked the part. He was really good at Syracuse. I don't know exactly why. I know he had an injury late in his college career and maybe it affected his draft status. But that kid's put together for a cornerback. He's physical and he can hang with players. And you see that a lot in those one-on-one drills with the wide receivers, which are incredibly skewed toward the wide receiver. So if you can do some good coverage in those, And it's amazing because I watch. This is off topic, but you watch X in those drills, and it's like Jesus Christ. I mean, he's covering Waddle like a blanket down the field. I mean, where Waddle has half the field to operate, and X is on him like white on rice, and it's like, yeah, that's.
I can't wait for the. I can't wait because all the shit they're talking in New England with Devontae Parker, when they put X on his ass, he's going to shut him down, and they're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, this is not going to work here. Yeah, no, so I'm.
Here's the deal, though. I know a lot of folks like to piss on Devontae Parker. I'm not one of those, but you give the guy his props when it comes to like contested 50-50 balls. He is damn good, and X probably has no peer among NFL cornerbacks when it comes to ball skills. So I'd love to see Mac Jones throw up a pass up in the air to Parker with X in coverage and see who comes down with it. That'd be a fun matchup to watch.
I got my money on X. I still have my money on X on that one because he is, when it comes to ball skills, that's one thing you have to give X.
Amazing.
He is elite of all corners when it comes to ball skills. That dude is a magnet for the damn football. He is impressive. All right. What are you working on at Sports Illustrated? Since you're off today, I would imagine you're working on 42 articles.
Down from the usual 87. Yeah, no, I had somebody tell me, enjoy your day off. And I'm like, day off? What's that? No, I mean, already today I did the continuing the countdown. Today's number 35. We posted a story on.
God, I don't remember a lot of 35s.
It's not a group.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
I'll give you a hint for my number one is a recent player who's actually was a really good guy whose career kind of ended like really abruptly, but good dude. Great special teams player.
Shit.
While you think about it, okay, we have a profile on Braylon Sanders. I'm doing a mailbag today, a day off mailbag. What else? I'm going to do a quick tour around catching up what's going on around the AFC East camps and obviously how that pertains to the Dolphins. And then if news develops in the afternoon, we'll do a notebook or a separate story if the news warrants it.
No, is that him? Walt Aikens?
Yeah,
is that
him? There you go. You looked it up, or
Sean looked it up.
Cheater, Sean.
Yes, we are. We're cheaters. Yeah, because 35.
Dude, who can know number 35?
Yeah,
really?
dude. It got me like, oh my God, I have no memory of a 35 that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of Dolphin history in this head.
Well, no, you're good. I know you're good.
So it's like, holy crap, 35 is a terrible number for us. Wow, I don't remember us enjoying a lot of 30. But Walt Aikens was actually, you're right. He was an excellent special teamer. I loved him as a special teamer. He was one of those guys that was kind of very Izzo-like. You love Izzo as a special teamer. You just didn't want him there as a linebacker. You know, it's the same thing with Walt. You know, the same thing. Excellent special teamer. Yeah, but don't put him in that secondary. They may not go well. What were you going to say, Sean?
35 does not look like a good number to stick with the Dolphins for longer than a year.
No.
I'm looking at Alan's article.
Yeah. No, I mean, when he said the number, I was like, oh my God, I don't remember anything on 35. It like registered zilch right there. All right, follow him on Twitter at PoopArtNFL and alldolphins.com. That's what you got to bookmark, baby. If you're a hardcore Dolphins fan all over the world, alldolphins.com so you can catch Poopart's work. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Have a great weekend, guys.
You got it. There you go. Sports Grill. Food, family, friends, and great, delicious wings.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupart, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill in our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza.
.com, and listen, you can get 10% off. Use our code BIG. Oh, listen. You wake up, you got some pain, some aches. You get out of the gym, you got some pain, some aches. The kids, they're running around all over summer, right? They're twisting some ankles. You want to do something all natural, something that has no side effects. Red light therapy is an absolutely amazing scientific breakthrough. It helps you in so many ways, from scars to heal, from creaky bones and muscles and everything. So whether it's an ankle wrap, a knee wrap, a shoulder wrap, a back, neck, we can help you at redrecover.com. Hey, man, it's helping me grow my hair back here, especially right here in this area where the natural yarmulke develops for a lot of us. Well, now I'm starting to grow all my hair back there, which is really, really nice. You can check that out also. Go to the website, redrecover.com. Check out the video blogs. Check out the blogs there generally so you can learn more about red light therapy. All natural, no side effects whatsoever. It's great for everybody. We've got wraps for dogs. Yeah, the back hind or shoulders or whatever you want to call it, the front shoulders. You know, they've got those wraps for them for their hips because obviously, you know, dogs develop some chronic issues with their hips at times. Red Recover helps with all of that. It helps with the pain. It helps in the recovery of workouts. It gets the blood flow going. Go to redrecover.com. Use our code BIG-O. And if you want to order the hat, if it's not on the website, go to contact us and send them an email and tell them you want to get yourself on the list because I know they're reordering the hats after they sold those out. redrecover.com. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go to a couple of super chats here. Go to Dub MCs there. He says, just got married and Tua has his face to this BS music from the regime that drafted him and trying to replace him. This is embarrassing for our players. Dub MCs, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. This is the kind of crap that, you know, Tua has to deal with. And this is what happens when you have a goofy ass owner that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Dub MCs follows up with another super chat. He says, correction, Beal screws up and Ross took the fall. Well, Ross also went along with Beal, so they both deserve the blame. Okay. The fact that Ross wasn't smart enough to pick up on it, that's the issue right there. All right, let's start it off. Our number 3, Ira Winderman. Is he ready to go? What happened? We're not hour 3. What hour is this? Oh, that's right. We kind of right. I get what you're saying. Okay. But technically, it'll be hour 3. And Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. That's next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Ira from the goofy ass department, right? And good afternoon, sir. But Stephen Ross, we know, comes from the goofy ass department.
Correct.
Okay? And he does a lot of that stuff. The Lakers also come from the goofy ass department. So as I'm preparing for the show this morning, I am reading that Darvin Ham will have the power to bench Russell Westbrook. And I'm like, it's early August. Do you really want this out there now? And I know you guys are trying to trade him, but if you're forced to keep him because nobody wants him, do you really want him knowing this already right from the get-go? Like, couldn't you guys keep this under wraps? How does this make any sense whatsoever for Darvin Ham to have that out there?
Because, Big O, there are coaches who are just honest. Look, you dealt with Stan Van Gundy in our market. You ask him a question, he provides an answer. True. They asked him in Orlando about Dwight Howard, whether he was dogging it or good enough. Stan gave an answer. Boom, it got awkward. So I respect that. And I think you've had different coaches over the years. As a matter of fact, I would put it this way. Let's say you're Darvin Ham, and I ask you, and this is how the whole thing started. If Russell Westbrook is not playing well in a game, last year Frank Vogel, more often than not, would still play him in the fourth. What's your approach going to be? And I'm sure Darvin Ham was just honest and said, you know what? The best players play the fourth quarter. And if Russ is not making shots and is a liability, I will go with someone else. I have been told by management here that this is the direction that I can go and I can guide my team. That's honest. Matter of fact, I'll give you a parallel, Big O. Because you've been out there at all the Dolphins practice.
But it's honest, but you're dealing with a player in denial. I totally understand what you're saying. I totally understand that Darvin Ham should have that power and the front office should give him that power. But because of the player you're dealing with who continues to be in denial and does not understand his lack of efficiency has hurt his game and he has not learned to become more efficient. That's my problem. Is his
I'm going to disagree with you.
What you're dealing with is the problem, not everything.
I think prima donna is a big O. I totally agree with you, and it's something you have to walk a fine line with athletes. But I think at some point you say we're giving you a crap ton of money for lack of productivity the last few years, especially of course last year when you joined the team. This is how it's going to be, and this is how I equate it. And again, you've been out at the Dolphins practices. I'm going to talk to you on Saturday this week a little bit later when you go out to Dolphins practice again. I think you'd agree McDaniel has some of that in him also. And that he very well might go if Big O asks a question, because everyone knows over decades in South Florida, Big O's a pain in the ass. And if Big O goes to McDaniel and goes, if Mike Gesicki's blocking still is struggling and you're in the fourth quarter and you need a blocking tight end, would you think twice about pulling him? And I can guarantee you, only I've seen the guy from afar, Big O, I think he'd give a candid answer. And he's going, hey, if we're running the ball like they did with the 49ers.
By the way, he did it with Preston Williams this week.
Yes, and God bless him for what he did.
He dismissed everything about Preston Williams.
Preston Williams isn't on the level of a Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki is a major contract decision. You might have to give tens of millions of dollars to. It's a little bit more. And yet I bet from what I've seen from him from a distance, and you've spoken to all your experts from Omar and everyone else, yeah, I think he would say if we are going to grind out the final possession like they did in San Francisco, and we are going to pound the ball, I'm going to get my blocking tight end in there, and I don't give a rat's butt whether this guy is due for an extension or a new contract next season. We're going to do what's best. So I think you go through these different levels of coaches. Eric Spoelstra is the opposite. He won't lie to you, but he'll go, I know what you're trying to do. He did that to me in the season-ending interview. He goes, yep, you've gotten good at trying to ask those lawyer-like questions, and he'll evade it. It's like Kevin Lockery once told me when I did his radio show, never answer the question, answer the answer. Some coaches are that way, and some coaches are just brutally honest. You know what, Big O? I think you and I can sit here with a list of players who need a dose of honesty, who need a dose of, you know what? You are a horse crap outside shooter, Russell Westbrook. And if you're not 1,000% engaged defensively, then you're a liability for my team. I have Kendrick Nunn coming back this season. He has proven to be good enough to help get a team to the NBA Finals. I might have to go in that direction. So I say, on one hand, is he politically correct? No, you're 1,000% right. It was awkward. On the other hand, in my position, I think in yours also, I think I would take candor every day of the week.
Oh, no, I love the candor. I just think that you're dealing with a person that can't handle the candor because they don't have the guts to look in the mirror and actually correct their issues. And
so you know what? Let him learn to deal with the candor in August and September. So it doesn't come like a lightning jolt in December, January, and February when he is benched in those fourth quarters. Let him learn how to deal with it now. You know what? I would rather have Russell Westbrook pouting in August and September and October than pouting when the Lakers likely can get back in championship contention this season and having to deal with that crap in April and May.
All right. Things have quieted down immensely. Everything has come to a absolute screeching halt, and it almost seems like it's the Durant domino first before anything else falls. Even the periphery players, Harrison Barnes and Jay Crowder trying to get out of Phoenix. And is John Collins available?
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, another one who I think would actually excel here.
Matter of fact, let me interrupt you like I always do. I'm going to give you two names. I'm curious which is your preference, John Collins or Miles Turner. If the price was equal, which would be your preference?
John Collins, because I think John Collins is more of a consistent scorer and something that Jimmy Butler needs. Whereas I think Miles Turner can be more of a 3-and-D guy for you, length guy, help you with the rebounding, but I don't know if I'm going to use him as a pillar of stability in the scoring sense.
And that's why I disagree.
He's more of a PJ Tucker like scorer.
Yes, that's why I disagree with you. Because this team has thrived the last time it had quality 3 and D with Jay Crowder and PJ Tucker, plus Miles Turner's more of a true center, so you can get Bam, or more of a center than John Collins. You can
I
get
love
Bam.
him here. I love him here. I think he would. Yeah. I think he would play his best basketball here.
Exactly, because he is another of those guys, almost Westbrook-like, has dealt with this emotional instability. With Westbrook, it was the deal from Oklahoma City to Houston to Washington. He's lost his footing. He's lost his way.
No, but Turner has a skill set that he is good at. He's a good three-point shooter.
Yes,
he can be a good post defender for you and rebounder and all that. And in Miami's system, they will make him even better at those areas. So that's why I love Miles Turner. The Collins thing, because Butler needs a little bit more of a score and star next to him, that's the only reason why I would lean to Collins. But your explanation and why you would go to the Turner makes all the sense in the world.
And then part 2 of this, and this will be, we'll hear all through August in our accurate Pembroke Pines reports, and also you'll hear from Anthony Chang when you have him on, is this. If I'm these other teams, if I'm the Hawks with Collins, if I'm looking to move him, if I'm the Pacers with Turner, if I'm looking to move him, if I'm the Kings with Harrison Barnes, I'm looking to move him, I start turning the screws. And I start telling these teams who might be interested, the contenders, you can wait for Kevin Durant. You can wait for Donovan Mitchell. I am setting a date of August 21. I am trading Miles Turner. I am trading John Collins. Come with your offer by then, or I go in a different direction. It could be a total bluff, but we also all know the personnel market in all sports is liar's poker. So let me ask you this, Orlando Alzagari. You're going with Collins. I'm going with Turner. That's fine. If the chips you need to get both of those deals done are Duncan Robinson's contract, first-round picks, maybe or maybe not Tyler Hero, but assets you could use for Durant, assets you could use for Mitchell, do you pull the trigger in that liar's poker, or do you wait till September and wait till October? In other words, at what point? Let's set a date here. This is good because you do 2 a week accurate Pembroke Pines reports, so I can circle the day there when I come on with Big O. Sure. Is there a date that you would say, this is my cut bait date, and I want to go into camp with Miles Turner? I want to go into camp with John Collins. Would you or would you not? Or would you say Kevin Durant is the holy grail and I'm willing to wait?
Here's my problem with this whole thing that's kind of developed now.
Okay.
If Boston is interested, Miami is out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes because Boston has the better players that they're going to offer. And Miami already said they're not including Bam. So if I'm going by, they're not including Bam. So if you're not including Bam, you're not getting Kevin Durant. It's over, done. So now the Donovan Mitchell, which includes my next question. So I'm going to ask it now in this conversation. Emerging suitors for Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Now there are 2 new teams in the mix, and they're talking about the Wizards and the Hornets. And now what Danny Ainge is doing, and I know what this son of a bitch is doing, he wants 4 billion picks. And so he's going to go to the suckers that are desperate and need a star. And because Donovan Mitchell's under 4-year contract, they control him. And whoever gets him controls him also. So the Wizards or the Hornets or any of these other teams or the Knicks, they're so desperate, they're going to give up way more picks than Miami too. So I'm almost at the point now that I've kind of got the realization that Miami is not, they're not going to be stupid enough to give up all the picks. They don't have them anyway, but even if they had them, I doubt they would give up all those picks for Donovan Mitchell on top of Tyler Hero and everything else. So let's move on already.
And that's the thing.
Make your decision between the Miles Turner and the Harrison Barnes and the Jay Crowders and who's the other guy, John Collins.
Yes.
Make your effing decision already because
and I agree with you, Big O, for this reason. We know, like you said, Boston has the biggest chip put in play for Kevin Durant and Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown's going to be a star-level talent in this league for at least another 5 years and probably longer. He's a really good player who's played in the shadow of Jason Tatum. I agree with you. We know the Knicks by far have a larger package of picks They're the ones who are being played by Danny Ainge. The Knicks are willing to put in 4. Danny Ainge goes, how about 5? It's like an auction. It's like, and I got 5 picks for the Wizards, and I got 5 picks for the Wizards, and I got 6 pitches from the Hornets, and the Knicks are going 7, 8 because they're idiots. Okay, right. So you know you can get outbid player-wise for Kevin Durant. You can get outbid picks-wise for Donovan Mitchell.
Amen.
I agree. And I got to tell you, so let's reset this. Let's let Duncan Robinson go. I wrote about him in the Sun Sentinel today at Ask Ira. Let's say we let Tyler Hero go. We can argue that. And let's say we give up a first-round pick, maybe Jovic, who knows, something like that. Okay, let's say we do that. If you give me a starting lineup this year, I'm going to go with my preference. We could sub in yours. So starting lineup, let's say we have a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo at center. Either John Collins or Miles Turner, we'll debate that later, at power forward. Right. Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, probably Max Strus for spacing as your starting lineup. The one that got you within one game of the Eastern Conference Finals. And honestly, God bless P.J. Tucker. But P.J. Tucker, by the end of the playoffs, was a guy who looked every bit of his 37, 38 years old. Yeah. That was the difference. And here's the beauty of Tyler Hero if you let him go. And he could emerge as a star. He could emerge as a perennial sixth man. This year, you have Victor Oladipo with a full summer of work. His social media is blown up. You have him with his first ever Miami Heat training camp. So the punch you had off the bench last season from Tyler Hero, you very well could have off the bench this season from Victor Oladipo, basically swapping the two out. Tyler Hero out.
And let's not forget Caleb Martin. He can
get that. I didn't even get to the bench. And okay, so you'd have Victor Oladipo coming off the bench as your scoring wing. You'd have Caleb Martin then not having to start coming off as your defender. Honestly, 1 through 4 there. You'd have either Dwayne Dedmon or Omer Yurtseven, whichever direction you're going with that. And that doesn't even get you into the Gabe Vincents and the other younger players and prospects you have also. Plus, once you make a trade and you realize you're going to be hard capped or don't have to worry about the hard cap, you can then put in the rest of your mid-level exception, another $4 million, or your biannual exception and get another player. Because I got to tell you then, Big O, you know Pat Riley and especially Mickey Harrison have already said this. If we are a championship contender, we will go into the tax. We will pay the tax. You and I have debated this for years on your shows in various venues. I would contend to you, if I had a lineup of Bam Adebayo, Miles Turner, Jimmy Butler, and Kyle Lowry in any one of my starting lineup, and I had Victor Oladipo and Caleb Martin and Dedmon or Yurtseven off the bench, you're at least a contender in the East. I'm probably bumping you into top 3. I respect Boston and Milwaukee for their ongoing continuity and success. I need to see with Philadelphia and how many donuts James Harden and strip shows he's going to go to before I can fully respect what he is and who he is. So I have a little bit of doubt of Philadelphia. With Brooklyn, we never know, especially if they make their own Kevin Durant trade anyway. So I think when you look at the Eastern Conference, I think you would look at the Heat and say, yeah, they're going for it. They could even spend more down the road or flip other contracts once the trading deadline comes around. I don't disagree with you, Big O. I think if you can lock in the 4, and you know what? You would have more of a true star-level power forward in either Miles Turner or John Collins than God bless P.J. Tucker or Jay Crowder. Journeyman. Contributing journeyman, but journeyman nonetheless. So I do think there is still a big move from the Heat. So the Heat are saying all the right things. They issued the statement last week through a spokesman. We like our team. We like what we have. Yeah, you like it on August 1st. Let's talk on August 8th, August 15th, August 22nd. There's still stuff to be done. I believe behind the scenes, there's a lot of hand-wringing at 601 Biscayne in the executive suite of FTX Arena of Andy Ellisberg, Pat Riley, Adam Simon, Nick Harrison. When do we pull the trigger? I still think, I hate to use a gun metaphor there, but I still think there's a trigger to be pulled.
Okay, so that's kind of my follow-up question to wrap up this segment with that. So as on the higher level, we've got Utah and we've got Brooklyn playing games and playing people against each other. Okay, that's the Baccarat room. Okay?
Right.
That's where the high level guys are
James
at.
Bond is over there, sure.
Right, exactly. Now let's go over to the high level blackjack table. And here's where I want to say, okay, so we've got these two teams playing and pitting other teams against each other. Okay, so now can the Miami Heat and maybe another couple of suitors, can they start playing the pitting game against the 4 teams that are trying to move Jay Crowder, Miles Turner, John Collins,
Harrison Barnes.
and Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Those because
Yes.
the poker chips are going to run out. The bids
Absolutely.
are going to run out, and so can Miami do they have no leverage at the baccarat table?
Right.
They're out. But in this blackjack table, do they have some leverage that they can play with to try to get the best one of those four in the combination, whether it's Collins, whether it's Turner, or somebody may think out there Jay Crowder, which I'd rather have the other two, but whatever. Somebody may like Harrison Barnes out there. But does Miami have a little leverage?
If they are willing to move, and here's the other point, because they so respect the Big O show on 97 different networks and now your own show right here. Big O, I'm going to ask you this question, and let's be honest. For years, the Heat have dealt with the sting of, they didn't get Kevin Durant in 2017. They lost out twice on Gordon Hayward. And the Heat hate the fact that their cast is losing out when what they're doing is they're in every game. So let me ask you this. If they get Miles Turner or John Collins, or they get Jay Crowder, or they get Harrison Barnes, are you then going to be on your show the end of August, early September with me and our accurate Pembroke Pines reports and telling me, Ira, they blew it. They had a chance to get Mitchell. They had a chance to get Durant. If the offers are less than they are right now.
They didn't have a chance for Durant the last time. They never had a chance for Durant, and we all knew. I knew that, at least. I was saying back then, they're having the meeting because what I said then was Riley, more than anything, wants to plant a seed for down the line, if anything. If it goes awry, he can trade for him and whatever, because that's what he does with disgruntled players.
So what we're talking about is this, is the fear of missing out. Can the Heat be consumed by the fear of missing out, of FOMO, or do the Heat just say to themselves, we got better. That's it. We lost P.J. Tucker. We got Miles Turner or John Collins. We got better. Boston, you want to think you're better with Durant? Fine. Knicks, you want to think that Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell is going to get you higher, like Kirk Heelan and I spoke about on our midweek show this week, with Red Recover? Fine. Think that. Think whatever you want. We're fine. That's what it is right now in the entire NBA, is fear of missing out on Durant, on Mitchell. But there is business, and good business, still to be done.
I'd be a hypocrite if I told you I'd be complaining about that, because I'm the one that's telling you I don't think they're done with Durant. Because
and as you know,
they're done with Mitchell because there's suckers out there that are going to give way bigger packages.
Yes.
So that we're down to the other four. That's really where we're at, and that's where I want to move on to, because that's the reality. Unfortunately, Miami doesn't have the ammunition or doesn't want to part ways with Bam. So if they don't want to part ways with Bam, then that's it, dude. We've got to move on.
And I tape every one of your shows, and I'll hold it against you when you start bitching about Mitchell and Durant in September.
Exactly. I won't. But listen, I wasn't worried about Durant last year. You were worried about Durant last year. I was not worried about Durant last year. Okay. All right. What are you working on this Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
A couple of things. Kyle Lowry spoke yesterday at an event in Toronto with Nick Nurse's golf tournament. He said, look, my personal life took a really bad turn last year. I had this major thing that derailed it. I think he used the word derailed like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Whether it's the conditioning of the personal life, the fact that Kyle Lowry acknowledged he was not his best self last year is important, because he realizes he has to be better. I don't care what the reason is. I hope his family situation works out for the best, as best as it can. But Kyle Lowry acknowledging he wasn't his best self, that's all I needed to hear, that he knows there has to be more. That's in today's print newspaper. Just posted a story online at sunsentinel.com. Both Nikola Jovic and Omer Yurtseven are bypassing international play. I know that was your preference, that they get in the Heat gym and work their ass off there. Jovic, it became clear, was not going to play for Serbia's national team that has Nikola Jokic, that has Boban Marjanovic, that has Bjelica, our former friend from the Heat. So why go through all that and sit on the bench for Serbia versus getting back to the Heat's gym? And Yurtseven's fascinating. He's a big piece for the Turkish national team, but he wants something big with the Heat this year. And he spoke to me in Summer League. You were out there when he spoke also. And he says, I could see myself playing. And you know what? God bless him if he's going all in, and his lone commitment this season is the Miami Heat. I like that he's putting the ball in Eric Spoelstra's court, and he's saying, I am doing everything possible to be my best self. Now you deny me the playing time because it's on you, coach. So that's at sunsentinel.com right now. So it just shows you, even in early August, this is why we have to have accurate Pembroke Pines reports, because I'll always give you something.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that Omar Yurtseven isn't acting like Preston Williams. He
Right.
wants to go out there
Earn
and
it.
take it.
Earn
Take
it.
it.
Right.
Force you to play me. That's what he wants. And we're also fortunate that Kyle Lowry isn't Preston Williams, and he did look in the mirror and say, "Yeah,
Gotta be more.
I let it go. I screwed up."
Yes.
And that's what you love because it all happens to all of us.
Take
But we
ownership.
all have to acknowledge when we
Yes.
screw up
You
and
have
say,
to
"Hey."
take ownership. I agree, Big O.
Yeah, man. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Center. You can catch him 3 times a week here, baby. Red Recover Inside the Paint Show. And, of course, right here, the Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA Report. Ira, have a fantastic weekend. We will catch you on Saturday, my friend.
Catch you on Saturday evening, Saturday 4:30. Thank you, Big O.
Thank you. There you go. And Ira will be on with us on Saturday at 4:30. Things got jumbled a little bit, but that's good. It's all good. Because remember, we're going Saturday out to Dolphins camp. So I want to do a show on Saturday. I don't want to wait till Monday to talk about that stuff. We'll move on Monday. We'll have more things to talk about. But, Saturday, Sean and I will go out to practice out there and get you the videos, get you the interviews. Don't forget, folks, please subscribe to our channels because Sean is constantly putting up videos from coaches and players and, everything going on, whether it's Inter Miami, whether it's Miami Heat, whether it's the Miami Dolphins, whether it's the Marlins, whatever. We are putting up all those press conferences for you. So make sure you check it out on our pages. Big O Show Cuts. Subscribe to that one and subscribe to this one that you're watching right now. Big O Radio Show, both on YouTube. Please subscribe. That is Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. By the way, Bitcoin is right there in the 23,000 area still. Impressive. It's holding strong. Strong, baby. All right. Any super chats come in? No. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Dougie Fresh says, Greer getting 9 years is horrific. Global research confirms that cannabis relieves pain. She had a doctor's prescription, was for not distribution, only had 7 grams. It's draconian at best. Damn. All right. So I usually need to be like Mr. Brutally honest here. What did you all expect? This is nothing but a dog and pony show for Putin. I mean, she was screwed from the get-go. They're going to use any excuse to hold you like they have several other Americans. And by the way, Biden's deal is terrible. And he panicked, and he should have waited for them to make the offer, not you. And he didn't even ask for all of the Americans, which I would not trade the scumbag that we have here for 1 or 2 Americans. Give me all the Americans you have in jail. Period. End of story. It's not a Brittany Griner thing. It's an American thing. Too many of you get caught up in politics and you're worried about your Democrat or your Republican, and I don't give a crap about that. If you're going to make a deal, you make a deal for all the Americans that they have, which I believe it's like 4 of them, or maybe even 5. I'm not sure. Or no, 5. No, they just released one a couple months back. I think it's 4 that's left there. And, the deal had for 2, and they weren't including the others. What are you doing? The others have been there longer than Brittany. And again, I don't want to lay the blame all on Brittany, but she's also got to use common sense where she's going. You can't have cannabis going there, bro. Come on, don't give them an excuse. You know what I mean? But this is what was going to happen. If any of us get caught in North Korea or Cuba or China or Russia, this is what they're going to do to us. So if you want to go and do DUI there or get caught for drugs or get caught for something just minor, well, they're going to take advantage of that situation. So if you want to go to a communist country for whatever reason, you must follow every rule to the letter of the law. Know where you're going. And she did not use, the proper awareness for this. But this was expected. Don't be surprised that she got 9 years. Don't be surprised that this is a dog and pony show. Don't be surprised that she's going to jail forever for stupid stuff like a little bit of cannabis. This has nothing to do with the cannabis. This has nothing to do with anything, but she's an American. And this is a way of Putin sticking it to America. And so he'll use Brittany and all the other Americans that are there. If they can nail you with something, they're going to nail you with something, dude. But don't give them a reason to do it. So I can't ask surprised here. I mean, I can't act surprised here, and none of you should act surprised here. This is what was expected. And they're going to want her to, and plus, by the way, she's black and gay. My Lord, you know how racist they are over there? Yeah, this is just a joke, is what it is. So for them, it's a game. And for any of you that thought this was going to end in a nice way and she was going to get a slap on the wrist and a $10 fine and walk out the door and send her, no, dude, they were going to give her a whole bunch of ridiculous years for something stupid. This is a game to Putin. This is a way of him trying to screw America, and he doesn't care who's in the way, Brittany or any of the other Americans that are there. They're just pawns in this game, nothing more. So let's not act surprised on what's going on and how Russia, handles everything. We know Russia are scumbags, okay? We know. The Russian government is nothing. It's garbage. It's not against the Russian people, not against the Korean people, not against the Chinese people. They're just prisoners in a big-ass country. That's what they are. They've got no choice. They've got to follow the letter of the law there because they have no freedoms. So they're screwed. So I don't blame the people. But the governments, they're garbage. Those people are they're human waste. North Korea, China, Cuba, Russia, whatever. If you killed every one of the people that lead those countries, I would not lose half a second of sleep. Would be the best thing for all those citizens. But unfortunately, this is what they live under. So if you're going to break a rule in those kind of countries, man, you're screwed. You're screwed. It's like, hey, you, Mr. Military guy. Weren't you out on the West Coast and some of the guys would go to like Tijuana, right? Do you want to get in trouble in Tijuana? Huh?
Nope.
Exactly. So if you know you're going to Tijuana, bro, okay, go have fun, but watch yourself. You're in a different country. You don't have the same rights. Be careful. I mean, right?
No, 100%.
So this is just it's ridiculous, but it was expected. Frankie, 9 years is excessive. No, not for them, dude. I'm actually surprised it didn't get to double digits. And this is just a ploy. That's all. She won't be there 9 years, but she'll be there for a while until they feel like it's not like the guy he's going to trade for and he's a close friend. He doesn't give a shit about the guy. He's just another pawn in his game too. Putin's got cancer, bro. He doesn't care. Cap for life. She did it to herself. She contributed. Unfortunately, she did something incredibly stupid, and now she's paying the ultimate price for something, even though it's ridiculous, but it was really stupid. And that would happen to any of us. If you go to these kind of places, you better be impeccable. Don't give them a reason. because that's what they're looking for. And so that's why I would tell you, why would you want to go to China? Why would you want to go to North Korea? Why would you want to go to Russia? I know she plays basketball there, but come on, man. You know, let's not help evil people. Yeah. Who? Oh, Marcel? Okay. All right, we'll get Marcel in about 5 minutes. He'll be joining us. America is more racist still. It's our culture. See, Dola, I don't know if Russia's more racist or America's more racist. Like, who cares about that? Racism is everywhere. It's in every country. And I don't know how you can measure one over the other, you know? So that really makes no sense, and it's not even part of the argument. Because you're not going to get 9 years here for oil. Even if you're black and gay, by the way. Michael Fernandez says, great call. I'm picking the Marlins yesterday. No, we picked the Marlins the day before, too, without Sandy. I'm sorry. If I'm picking the Marlins without Sandy, isn't that more impressive than with Sandy? Right? And you know why I picked it yesterday? Remember I told you Sandy sucked. He got slapped around in the last outing. I knew he was going to come back on fire, and that's a bad team. So I appreciate the credit, Michael, but I'll take more credit for the day before that I laid the run and a half. That I took the 2 runs and a half, and I went with the Marlins. No Sandy. So, yes, I'm still trying to think of what I'm going to pick. I was looking at the line in the last break. I got one that I think I'm going to pick because there's no Marlins, but we're on a roll, so we got a 21-9. You got to keep it going, man. Karen says, I think women get paid way more money to play basketball overseas. I think a lot of women play basketball overseas, even the ones in the WNBA. I wish she didn't pick Russia, though, needless to say. No, Karen, you are right about the money part, that they all make money overseas in other leagues. I just wish she would have said, yeah, I'm not taking weed to Russia. That's all. I'm going to North Korea. Yeah, let me pack my weed. Voy a visitar la familia en Cuba. Let me pack my weed. See what I'm saying? That's I got the example for you. I got the story for you. Are you ready? Do you want stupidity? Do you want king of stupidity? Okay? No, I'm serious. You want major stupidity. All you have to do is go look at Iman Shumpert. Did you hear about this? So, former NBA player was arrested on Saturday due to drug possession. He also had ammunition in his possession, according to the report. TMZ reports Wednesday that Iman Shumpert was arrested at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport after TSA screeners found a plastic bag filled with a green leafy substance. Shumpert admitted the substance was marijuana. Shumpert was also found with a Glock magazine and a 14 9mm rounds in his bag, though he did not have the gun in his possession. Shumpert was concerned about not being able to make his flight to Los Angeles, which he had to visit his daughter. He ended up getting arrested. Now, let me explain why this mofo is one stupid ass idiot. You're in Fort Worth, Texas. You got your weed. Fine, dude, enjoy your weed. You're flying to California. I'm sorry. Do you need weed in California? Or is it recreational in California? Yes, Sean, yes. It was a rhetorical question. Why would you take weed to a state that is recreational? Brother, you get off your plane, You're going from Fort Worth, Texas to California. They got recreational weed in California. My brother, you land in LAX, get your Waze or whatever and put dispensary and go right to a dispensary right out of the airport. And you get your weed. Why would you do that? Do you know how stupid you are to do something like that?
Frankie Fresco says it's cheaper there.
Where, in California?
No, in Texas.
Oh, in Texas. Well, not after the arrest. It became a really expensive joint, man. I mean, seriously, like, who takes marijuana from Texas to a state like California where it's recreational? That's where you just got to say, if I was Iman Shumpert's buddy, oh my God, the jokes would be flowing. I would assassinate my friend if he got arrested for that. All right, let's talk a little Dolphins. Marcel Louis Jacques, baby, is ready to go. He's always got the edge. And you should get the edge. Go to myedgedrink.com. 10% off. Use our code BIG. Ow! Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste. In fact, yesterday we were at a meeting and we had a guy try Edge and he freaked out. He was like, wow, this thing is awesome. And yeah, dude, we're not, because the problem is everybody thinks sports drinks have, they all have aftertaste. This one does not. It's just flat out delicious. And you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Yep, 78 calories. Use our code BIGO, get 10% off. You can't get it in a store. You got to go to myedgedrink.com. Get 10% off the best energy drink on the planet. Let's go to myedgedrink.com. Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis Jacques.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider, Marcel Louis Jacques.
All right, there he is. He's ready to go. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling great, man. Feeling like I got a little edge to me.
Yeah, you better have an edge on this segment. Although Iman Shumpert didn't have an edge.
No, and actually, let me rephrase. I'm not feeling great. I'm still a little angry. I'm a little angry at the Dolphins because of this news is the reason why I'm speaking to you from my den with Nuke Hopkins, Clemson jersey behind me, instead of speaking from you or to you from the Cromwell Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. So, my trip was canceled because of this news, because we wanted me on the ground for anything further that might come out.
Oh, this ruined this final vacation of yours?
This destroyed it. It nuked it,
Wow.
Pun intended. So yeah, I'm a little angry. I'm a little angry at the Dolphins for this. I'm a little mad at Stephen Ross.
Welcome to the Miami Dolphins beat, Marcel Louis Jacques.
Have anything nice. I had one too many nice things this offseason, and that's done.
That dude just needs to stay away from the team forever, bro.
I can't remember the last time I've seen an owner nuke the team like that. I need to stop saying nuke, but seen an owner cause so much strife for a team in such a short amount of time. And like Roger Goodell said, this level of owner involvement in this tampering case was unprecedented. He has never seen an owner tamper like this. So for everybody who says every team does it, sure, every team I'm sure does it. But every team is smart enough to have a Bruce Beal go do your dirty work for you, not getting to it yourself. Like maybe this was his idea of being noble, of like, I don't want anybody else taking the heat for me. I'm going to take my charge like a real one. You're not a real one. You're a billionaire.
I figured it out. Stephen Ross was listening to Chris Carter. And he said, Bruce, you're my fall guy. And he fell also with the guy. So that it didn't work out for him. So we're the same team that went after Harbaugh in the middle of the night with Sperano in place. So that's where Stephen Ross, when he says, oh, we disagree with this, that's where, dude, you have no credibility. You lost all your credibility already. You're done with credibility. Please don't talk anymore. You have zero. This is the same guy that celebrated Tebow and the Gators when his other tenant in the building is the Canes. Okay? This is the guy that brought the orange carpet, not a red carpet, but an orange carpet, because he thought bringing, although it was nice to see J-Lo and Serena on the carpet, but, it wasn't really going to make a difference on the field. So,
and not to mention,
the amount of stuff that's gone under this guy that's happened in 13 years, this is just part of everything else. It just gets worse and worse as it goes on, and he topped it off now with a first and a third.
And we need to discuss this statement that he put out as well, because it was nonsensical to say, to come out with such a strong opening and say, like, we are grateful that this NFL investigation cleared us of any wrongdoings from these malicious and false and accusations of Brian Flores. You know what he's doing? Dolphins fans, I'm looking at you. You know what he's doing with that statement? He is assuming that you are not going to read. He said players are smart enough to read it themselves. They're not going to know that I'm lying through my teeth, because that report said everything that Brian Flores accused them of. They did. Yes, he did make a comment about $100,000 per loss. Yes, he did want to prioritize draft position. Yes, he did meet with Tom Brady on a yacht.
Marcel, as I told Ian yesterday, the only reason they didn't go after him for the tanking is because they're tied to betting organizations now. And you can't have a Donaghy situation like you had in the NBA. You cannot have owners that might tank, because if Stephen Ross is willing to do it, others are willing to do it. So you had to let that slide, even though you knew it happened. And that's why they went heavy-handed on the tampering, heavier than anybody's ever gotten. Why? Because technically they hammered the Dolphins for both things, but they couldn't legally hammer them openly for tanking, because that would be a stain.
Yeah, like, just think, you got punished.
The shield.
They got punished like this for unsuccessfully tampering?
Yes.
Like, you're going to tell me they reached out and lost and got punished like that? No. Like, if you read the report, they found that everything that Brian Flores accused them of, they did. It happened. He wasn't lying. Of
course he did.
Wasn't lying. Of
course.
So, if you have opined about Brian Flores in the past few days, all of that, like, just read the report, or read enough reports about it, like stories and articles about it, that you understand what this NFL investigation found, because it did not clear them of jack shit.
Nothing.
It didn't clear them of anything.
It made them look even worse, is what it made them do. He made
a comment, but there were multiple recollections of the $100,000 offer, and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Look, bro, if my boss continues to make jokes and comments about how he feels, I'm taking everything seriously. And also,
of course,
you know Brian Flores?
Yeah,
I've worked with Brian Flores for like 5 months. That man don't joke. He don't play like that.
Yeah, there's no joking there. You're so right.
So, like, at the very best, you don't know the man that you hired.
Yeah.
At the very best, you don't know the man you hired. At the worst, you try to throw this man under the bus after he refused to do something rotten that you wanted to do. It's like he refused to lose games, man. Like, then you should have hired somebody who was cool with tanking in year one.
It's funny because the only difference between these two guys is, well, one is athleticism and age, but really it's bank account. But you look at Preston Williams and you look at Stephen Ross, neither guy gets it.
No, and that's
isn't it interesting? Right? Yeah, there's some differences in how they look and all that stuff. One guy's got big ears, the other one doesn't. One guy might not need a headset to hear the quarterback's calls. If Stephen Ross was,
I think the Preston Williams complaints are intriguing. It's an intriguing case study here, because he didn't make these complaints with Brian Flores. As far as I'm concerned, he wasn't coming out and doing press conferences like that when Brian Flores was here. At least not the ones that I attended.
Well, no, it's the problem is he's been here already too long.
But I'm just saying, it's interesting now that, okay, now you have a coach who's a player's coach who wants you to be yourself, who isn't a disciplinarian. Now this is the first instance of somebody testing that metal publicly. Who's somebody who's testing.
Yeah. But problem is the guy that's testing you has no credibility whatsoever. never has had credibility. He ruined his entire career because that's why he didn't get drafted. The entire NFL knew how gifted he was. He should have been a very high draft pick, but because what's between the ears is not very impressive, is what you end up getting constantly from Preston Williams: a lack of concentration, a lack of dedication. He was at 230 last year. That's why you talk about that and the drop passes and the inconsistencies. He has no one to blame but himself. And he's also not very smart, and neither is his agent, because when I asked him, my brother, you look around and they drafted people, they signed people. Why did you think that you were going to have it? Oh, because I like competition. That's stupid. And your agent is a dumbass. Whoever his agent is a dumbass.
You can't like competition. You can't say that you like competition and then complain about a lack of opportunities if you are not making them for yourself. Tyreek Hill is better than you. Jalen Watt is better than you. Cedric Wilson is better than you. Eric Uzukama is playing better than you. Braylon Sanders is playing better than you.
Dude, Trill Williams. That's all you got to do. You got to look at the kid and say, look at Trill Williams. Nobody's giving him anything, and he's competing against a first-round pick that the front office selected, and they're giving him a chance because he's taking it. You can take it from people, but it's up to you to take it, because Braylon Sanders is making plays whenever they throw the ball to him, okay? So don't give this crap. And that, by the way, Preston did that his first year here. His first year here, he was smoking fools. And we were all going like, wow, this kid actually, and, scouts told me he's super talented. He's just got, crap in his head, and he's got to wake up. And 4 years in, he still has not woken up. And 80 years in, Stephen Ross still hasn't woken up either, by the way, on the football side.
Steve, Preston Williams was able to stand out in a receiver room that was never held to much of a standard under Brian Flores. With all due respect to Josh Grizzard, that
an injury standard.
They have the lowest average yards of separation rate since Tua entered the league in 2020.
Yeah.
So he stood out in a room full of heavy-footed receivers heavy-footed, antiquated receivers that said, I can win 50-50 balls, so here we are. That doesn't work anymore, man. I've been saying, I say every time somebody asks me about wide receivers, separation is just as important as catching ability. Because if you can't get open, I don't care you make the coolest catches in the world.
Yeah.
You have to stick them on your hands. Doesn't matter if your DB's in your shirt.
Right.
So if you don't separate like that, if you don't make things happen after the catch, and if you don't block, you don't have a place in this. You don't have a place in this. I think I said it on the show, man, that Devontae Parker's days were numbered.
Yeah, of course.
Separate.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't be that. He really shouldn't be that surprised. They gave him a second chance just to see if he could tap into that 2019 form. Look, man, I'll tell you what. This is the wrong time to be bitching publicly.
Huh.
It is the wrong time to be bitching publicly, because there are 5 guys going after probably 1 or 2 spots in the wide receiver room. You got Craycraft, you got Sherfield, you've got Ezukama, you've got Sanders, you've got Williams, you got Sanu. That's 6 guys going after realistically 2 spots. They're not going to keep 8 wide receivers.
Yeah, no, Ezukama in the top.
Frankie, you forget about, people are being forgotten about in this room, and you're bitching publicly about a lack of opportunities. What's that phrase everybody said? Nobody cares, work harder.
Right. Yes. Nobody cares, work harder. You damn right. That's the way it is. And that's why you admire Trill Williams, and you don't respect what Preston Williams is all about. And and everybody sees it too, by the way. I was sitting there with Wingfield, and we were talking about how you look at the effort of Preston Williams. I'm looking at him going, watch these guys run their routes, and then you watch Preston Williams, and it's just kind of half-ass. And he just doesn't get it, unfortunately. It's a shame. It really is. All right, so you've had a week under your belt now, and you've had some padded practices. So talk to me about what has pleasantly stood out to you so far this week that you would tell Dolphin fans this is something really good that they can build on.
So obviously I want to go back to the low-hanging fruit or easy-hanging fruit in Tua. Of course, he can't be hit. So like pads going on doesn't really make that big of a difference. But when you talk about Tua's arm strength, it's not his ability to throw downfield that people who know what they're talking about are critiquing. It is his ability to throw off platform. So can he throw on the run? Can he hit, when he doesn't have a firm foundation, he doesn't have a firm base, can he hit those throws outside the hashes? He had a play, I think it was yesterday, where he fielded a high snap. There's video of it on Twitter. I can't retweet it.
The skinny post. Yeah, we talked about it. Hell of a throw. Hell of a throw.
Gets it and off platform, boom, and launches it quick, makes a decision. It's not panicked. It's not rushing. It's not, it's not head scratching. It is.
Well, he does have to grab the snap high, and he's throwing over a rushing defender too.
Yeah,
so it is a challenging pass for him. You know what I mean? That's why it was impressive.
And it was on the money. Poupart and I had a disagreement the other day about Tua's level of accuracy. I don't know if he's discussed what he thinks of Tua on the show, but he and I disagree.
He liked what he saw. The accuracy.
But there's nothing you can say. He's been accurate. That's what we've seen from him all camp. Minus a couple throws, but man, those are going to happen. But I see a kid who is processing a defense before the snap, so that after the snap, he just has to go through his progressions. Like, that's the difference between him and a rookie. When you look at what Skylar Thompson's able to do, Skylar Thompson has arm talent. Like, he can throw off platform. He can hit. He can throw the ball downfield. Like,
he doesn't know where it's going, but he's gifted. He's gifted.
But you could tell that when he takes the snap, especially early in camp, you could tell when he takes the snap, he's still trying to figure out, okay, what is the defense in? What are my reads? What are my keys? He's doing that after the snap. Tua is clearly doing that before the snap. He feels comfortable. So, like, up here, he's there. He's there. Around here, his supporting cast, his support system is finally catching up. So, like, everything is kind of looking up for him. And then the arm talent is what we're kind of seeing. I think he does have a little bit of a stronger arm this year. He has put a little bit of zip on his passes this year. Like, he's pushing the thing downfield with ease. And I wasn't here last training camp, so I can't speak from that experience. I heard he was doing something similar last year. We'll see what happens. I think it's next week in Tampa. We'll see what happens there. But look, man, he is making quick reads. He has been impressive throughout training camp, I thought. Like, that is my humble opinion. The interior defensive line, this defensive front seven in general is going to be a menace for opposing teams. I mean, I don't think there's any weaknesses in the rotation. I don't think there's any. If you are rotating your D tackles, where's the drop off between Raekwon, Wilkins, and Sealer?
No, I love all three.
There is none. Between Jalen Phillips and Melvin Ingram and Emmanuel Ogbah and Andrew Van Ginkel, where's the drop off between any of them? You're getting consistent rush, consistent production throughout the course of the game. Like, that's hard to do.
I'm more concerned about the middle linebacker behind them than I am about those guys. That would be if I had a concern in the front seven, I'm not concerned about the pass rushes. I'm not concerned about the defensive tackles. I'm not really concerned that much about the outside linebackers. Middle linebacker is the only test that I would worry about a little bit, that if there is some penetration against that D line, will the thumper clean the things up? And that's where I want a Channing Tindall to grow as soon as he can. You know what I mean? I can't expect it from him early on, but I'm hoping by the second half of the season, I'm seeing a little bit more of him in that middle.
And so, I don't disagree with you there. If you had to pick a weakness, I don't think that maybe the inside linebacker room.
Call it a question mark. Right?
If you had to pick a weakness, a weak point, a question mark, any of that, then I don't know if the inside linebacker room excites you too much, but I think they want Elandon Roberts to be the thumper. I think that Jerome Baker is the most versatile. I think Duke Riley has had a hell of a camp, particularly in his coverage ability. And then Channing Tindall is really starting to pop with his speed and athleticism over the past few days. You're starting to see fans talk about it. You're seeing media and hearing media talk about it as well. I think if Tindall can, again, it's up here. It's not his physical gifts. If he can acclimate quickly, it's going to change a lot for this defense. But the beauty of the defense is that you can ask a lot of guys to do a lot of different things. It's versatile. So like you can't say, okay, so-and-so's on the field, this is what they're doing. And like, I think that obviously that starts with the defensive backs with Jones and Holland, but it trickles down into the linebackers as well. So we'll see how they do against the run. I know that, Raekwon Davis is going to play a large part in kind of controlling this run defense, but against the pass, I think this will be one of the better defenses against the pass in the NFL this season. They have to be. They got too many. If there's too much talent on the field for them not to be, it would be a disgrace if they're not. And then we know, and they isolated the variable. We know who the problem would be if they're not.
Yep. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Marcel_LJ. And don't forget, man, you want the best energy drink on the planet. You can't get it in the store. You got to go to myedgedrink.com and use our code Big O. Get 10% off. myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste, and only 78 calories. All right, Marcel. So I got to ask you, are you pleasantly surprised, or are you not that impressed with Austin Jackson?
Pleasantly surprised, I guess, if I had to pick one. He is. I think that was he was easy scapegoat for a reason. He was bad at left tackle last year. But I don't think he was coached up properly, with all due respect to Lemuel Jean-Pierre. We've discussed this numerous times on the show, that Lem was not necessarily ready to be a position coach yet. It was a necessity. It was out of necessity that he was in that position. So, like, as far as identifying what Austin Jackson was doing wrong and helping him correct it and coaching him up correctly and running a scheme that highlights his strengths, that really wasn't. And that's not just Jean-Pierre's fault. Like, that offense as a whole was a mess. That staff as a whole was a mess. That's why there has been so much turnover over there. You've got Lem back in an assistant role, and I believe, and Stutzville back as running backs coach. And I believe everybody else is gone. I believe everybody else that was in a major coaching role on offense is gone. There's a reason for that. So I think Jackson, he's athletic enough. He's young enough and impressionable enough that he could be coached into being something better than he has shown in his past 2 years. I don't think there's a lot of shame in struggling at all against this pass rush, because I think it's very talented. But, they have the interior defensive line, and this interior pass rush has broken through time and time again. But it's not something that I think is the OL's fault. It's something I think that they're so good that is just what they're going to do to any defense or any offensive line.
Okay, I'm with you there. Give me something that has disappointed you this week outside of Connor Williams and the snapping, which that's the obvious that we're all concerned about that. And by the way, I say that if it runs into next week, you have to go center hunting. I think once you get to Tampa and you have those practices, you have those issues, I think you've got to go center hunting at that point. I can understand early on that he's got to, figure it out because he is making a position switch. So I can't ask him to be absolutely perfect. But within the first 2 weeks of camp, I got to see you finally get that fine tune in there. Do you agree with that, by the way?
Yeah, I would say so. And it's a hard motion. I asked them too. Like, I asked him the other day, look, man, when people think about playing center, obviously the first thing everybody thinks of is snapping the ball. That's natural. Right. I asked him what more goes into playing center that people don't talk about. And he's saying, like, you have to be concerned with both sides of the offensive line. And I think I teased this the last time I was on here, that it's more cerebral than anything. You are the quarterback of the O-line now. You have to make the calls. You have to identify the defense. Like, it's not just learn how to snap. And so, it's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to just switch positions on the offensive line. This isn't Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just put a big body. You can't just put your 85 backup left tackle at right guard and everything's going to be okay. Like, it is difficult. So, but there is a point where, look, man, it's not like the environment's going to get easier from here. Like, you're going to Tampa. Everybody's excited to see football again. Everybody's excited to see Tom Brady, who I'm sure won't play, but he'll be in the stands. Like, everybody, that's not a stadium that's going to be light. And then when you're at the season tickets are sold out this year, man, like people are going to be making noise outside of the field. It's going to be a hard environment. It's going to be tricky for you to snap that ball and keep your head together. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I've always said, JC Tretter's not in the conversation. I thought maybe he was kind of a lock to go to Tampa Bay after Jensen went down, but it seems like they're running with their backup. I forget the guy's name, and it seems like they're staying in-house for that. I think that they still have a kind of a fail-safe in Michael Dieter. They're going to reevaluate him. They should be in the process of reevaluating him here. They wanted to after the weekend. We'll find out tomorrow when we speak to Mike what exactly Dieter's status is. But that's a guy with center experience who, if Williams doesn't work out, they can go back to. But yeah, it's not something that you want to see well into camp. That's for sure.
I'm with you there. All right, what are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out now that you don't have any vacation time anymore?
Well, I'm working on the thing that's keeping me from having a damn vacation, or it's not even a vacation. It was it was for the NABJ convention and conference, but it wasn't Vegas, so I guess it's somewhat of a convention. But I am here to keep digging. That's all I can really say. I'm here to keep digging. I'm here to get a background, here to get a timeline together of how this tampering came to be. And when I find out anything, y'all will find out.
All right, there you go. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work here twice a week. And of course, you got to follow him there on ESPN, getting it done with his Hopkins jersey back there. We will catch up with you later on next week, my friend. I appreciate you. I'll see you out at camp over the next couple of days. We'll be out there Friday and Saturday.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Be good. There you go. Marcel Louis Jacques, you now have the edge.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
Nice job by Marcel, as always, getting it done. Thank you, Marcel. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. All right. What else do we have here we wanted to talk about on the program? We are at Hialeah Park, by the way. Nice job yesterday by Inter Miami. They kept me up late being in San Jose. They got the goal early. Jean Mota with a golazo. How he painted that right corner. That was really nice. Unfortunately, we lost Campana with the, I think it's the thigh. And then Higuain took an elbow. Do me a favor, Coach Neville, you do a terrific job. You've done a terrific job with the team this year. And clearly, Chris Henderson is turning it around talent-wise and all that. And they're not even healthy yet. They don't even have all their guys on the pitch. And a couple of their guys got banged up yesterday. And I hope they can get Campana back, man, because he's been dealing with that injury. But set plays from the corner, let's not try to use Higuain out in the open field there trying to set things up, because he doesn't have the athleticism, okay? He doesn't have the speed. He's not going to maintain. Did you see that play I'm talking about? That corner kick that they didn't do a corner. They set it up right there, a short pass, and they wanted Higuain to start weaving through, and it's like they stole it right from him right away, and it's like he's playing well, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but keep him around the box. Give him with the one-touch stuff. Please don't make him dribble a lot. He doesn't have the speed and the athleticism to maintain possession in the open pitch. Please don't do that anymore. That's the only thing I would tell Phil Neville. Outside of that, terrific win last night, 1-0. They've got 29 points. They are tied with Charlotte in the 7th spot with 29 points. They're in the 8th spot. Columbus and Orlando hold the 5th and 6th spots with 30. They are 1 point out of the 5th and 6th spots. Okay? They are right there. Saturday, they take on Montreal, 7:30 on the road, but they aren't healthy, which kind of sucks. But, man, last night, that was awesome. Callender made a A couple of nice saves there overall. I like what I'm seeing from Inter Miami. I mean, I've liked what I've seen from these young guys this year. I just want to get Campana back, man. I felt bad for old man Higuain taking that elbow. It's like, holy crap. So let's get it back, man. Let's get everybody healthy. Coco is not he wasn't on the pitch yesterday, so he's not healthy yet either. Gotta get the team healthy, but they're right there. I mean, this is pretty cool because they've got a chance to earn a real playoff spot, not this playing BS. Like, get a playoff spot. That's how you want to start off. I know they're not going to be a championship caliber team right this second, but Jaguars Raiders, you watching tonight? I am. I'm going to watch it at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Is that the same Tom Benson that owns New Orleans? Is he from that area or something? I had no idea about that. Did you know that it's called Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium?
No, I didn't know that.
Didn't know it. And I wonder if it's the same Tom Benson that owns. Yeah, there you go, Wikipedia. Because I saw that this morning. I didn't bother to look it up, but I saw that. And I'm glad we got a little football tonight, even though you're not going to see many starters or anything like that. But it's all right. I'll watch something. It'll be good. I'll take it. What the hell, man? What the hell? What the hey? What the ho, man? Let's get it done. Let's have some fun. Watch a little football, even though it'll be terrible, terrible football. But we'll watch it anyway.
Jared Stidham's playing today.
There you go. Okay. All right. Thank the Lord he's playing, because that really lifts me up that Jared Stidham is going to play. That was my boy. I liked him as a project coming out of that draft that year.
So I guess what happened in 2014, Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, donated $11 million to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, $10 million of which was to go into renovating Fawcett Stadium.
Okay.
And recouping the money by renting use of the stadium in response to Benson's donation. They would rename it Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
Okay. Fair enough. That's cool. Got no problem with that. You earned it, dude. You gave a lot of money to improve it, so I like that. All right. Jake Luton is the Jags QB. Another project guy that I like out of Oregon State. I want to say, look it up, Jake Luton. Tell me if it's Oregon State. I think he's a Beaver. It's another kid that's got, like, him and Stidham. I always try to find those guys that are like third-day guys, and they're guys that are like, Oregon State, I said. It is? Right. I was right. I remember when Josh was coming out, and he's one of those guys that you look at him, and he has NFL caliber skill set. Now, can he put it together? He was like I want to say he was like a 6th or 7th round pick. I want to say he actually had, 6th. And he had like a game or two that was actually half decent. I think it was last year or the year before for Josh. I remember. And he's another one of those guys. So these are two project quarterbacks, because I always like taking some of those guys in the third day just to see if they can polish it up. They have the physical traits. Like Jared Stidham has everything you need to succeed at this level physically, but it's up here that you've got to then bring it all together, and it's not really easy to do, man. It's incredibly hard, obviously, as you've all seen. You know what's also hard? It's hard to go 21-9 against the number in your last 30 picks. I don't know if you know that, Sean, but it's kind of hard to do that, okay? I'm just saying. I got to tell you. It's one of those things that you wouldn't imagine, but it's true. It's not an easy thing to do, and that's exactly what we've done. We've gone 21-9 in our last 30 liquor split matchups of the night, and guess what? We've got another one. We're going for it right now. Let's see. Can we go 22-9? Here's our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
All right, let's go. No Marlins today, so I'm not going to either pick for or against the Marlins. Because some people, one guy goes, "Oh yeah, you're patting it up. You're picking against the Marlins all the time." I'm like, dude, I picked the Marlins the last 2 days. I didn't get an answer back from the guy. But it's like, it's funny. Like, who cares whether I'm picking 4 against the Marlins? It's 21-9. It doesn't matter what you do against the number, bro. 21-9 against the number is 21-9. Don't care what it is. Not an easy thing to do. So we're lucky. We're on a roll. Let's see if we can keep it going. Yesterday, we gave you the Marlins. We told you Sandy had a terrible outing last time. He was going to come back on fire. And by the way, my man Cooper came back yesterday, which I didn't. I picked that game without knowing that Cooper was coming back, and that's a good player to get back. And they won 3-0. Sandy pitched a complete game, 9 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, 3 Ks, lowered that ERA to 1.88, and a 3-0 win against the Reds. That got us to 21-9 now against the number. Time to give you our pick tonight. We're going to go with the Cleveland Guardians against the Houston Astros. On the mound, Zach Plesac for Cleveland and Justin Verlander for Houston. Verlander's 14-3 with a 1.81 ERA. He is sizzling. Zach Plesac is Zach Plesac. He's 2-9 and a 4.33 ERA. Both teams have kind of been a little up and down lately. Okay, nobody's really on a hot streak, but I'm going to go with the better offense with this Houston. I'm going to go with the better pitcher, which is Verlander. Houston is favored by 1.5 runs. The over and under is 8 runs. Houston is minus 200 on the money line, and Cleveland is plus 165 on the money line. You know, I could easily tell you to go with the money line, but that's minus 200. You got to lay 100 to win 200. I'm not doing that. The over and under is 8 runs. I'm afraid that Verlander could shut them down. But I love the Astros offense getting going against Plesac and Verlander shutting him down. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs here. I'm going Houston minus 1.5 runs against the Cleveland Guardians. That is our liquor split matchup of the night. And don't forget, whether you're in Little Havana, Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Wechete, order it, baby. Download the app, iOS or Android, and only a flat fee of $2.99. Get your favorite liquor, beer, vodka, whiskey. Get it delivered right to your home. $2.99 flat fee, liquorsplit.com. And that $2.99, $1 of it goes to helping homelessness in Miami. So not only is it convenient that you get the liquor delivered to you, they also have chips and snacks, and they've got smokes too on top of it. So they can deliver all of that to you. But $1 is going to helping homelessness in Miami. So you're also doing something for a great cause. Download it, iOS or Android. Liquor Split, Miami's own liquor store.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
We love it, and we thank the great people at Liquor Split for supporting us as they always do. When sports and business collide, we like to do something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All right, so when sports and business collide, that's when we get the KSDT Sports Business Report. And this is where we go hyperbolic on some of these reports. And I think they're going a little crazy, but, whatever. NBC now is pushing to have the Big Ten telecast with Notre Dame coverage. And they're calling it the perfect 1-2 punch because rights negotiations with the conference are nearing the finish line. NBC is proposing a strategy that calls for back-to-back primetime games, Big Ten and NFL games on Saturday and Sunday nights. NBC is pitching a fall Saturday football schedule that includes a triple header coverage of Big Ten games, Fox, CBS, and NBC for early afternoon night. The slate would be followed by NBC's Sunday Night Football, the most watched show in prime time record for 11 straight years. The Big Ten would have exposure in every TV home, said one source. It would also be a smart idea to follow the model of the most successful sports league in America, the NFL. NBC, ESPN, and Amazon declined to comment negotiations. Big Ten did not immediately respond. The Big Ten is expected to command at least $1.25 billion annually for its next media rights deal, to include bidders from NBC, Amazon, ESPN, ABC, and CBS. The winner will air games alongside Fox Sports. The conference's primary TV partner and operating partner is the Big Ten Network. And the title says NBC's Big Ten Network being the NFL of college conferences. Can I tell you, they're full of shit? The SEC is the NFL of football conferences. Okay? And here's the other thing that I love all this hyperbolic BS that I'm watching on Front Office Sports here, right? Because I saw this article and I laugh because let's go to reality, okay? The most overrated program that there is Notre Dame. When they win the last national title? Was it Tony Rice? Right? Right? Tony Rice, right? Was it like 88? Was the last time that the Notre Dame, like who's Notre Dame? I love how Notre Dame is a power because they've got an incredible fan base that follows them around everywhere. 89. Wow. Well, memory failed me. I'm sorry. It was the 88 season, but they won in 89. Okay. So anyway, who is Notre Dame? It's like the most overhyped piece of crap that I always hear about. The team that wins absolutely nothing. We're complaining because our Canes haven't won anything since 2001. These clowns haven't won since 89. They're only a power by hype, by ticket buying, but not on the actual field. And then you're going to tell me that the Big Ten is going to be the NFL of college conferences? I must have missed out when they passed the SEC up. I forgot about that. Wow. Well, when did the SEC become second fiddle to the Big Ten? And what moron would ever put the Big Ten in front of the SEC? What, idiots that actually are in the Big Ten that think that they're better than the SEC? And last time I checked, the SEC will probably add Clemson, Miami, and maybe even Florida State. And if they do that, oh my God, I don't know about Florida State, but Miami's headed in the right direction and Clemson's a powerhouse. So how's that going to make the SEC even stronger? Like, where is the Big Ten going to pass the SEC? How are they the NFL of college football? And who the hell is Notre Dame? Notre Dame's backed by money and a great fan base. But what is the team? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Wow, what a powerhouse. What are all the titles that they're winning and all the titles that they're challenging for? Man, I see them right there hanging with Alabama all the time. I mean, I love how we talk about Notre Dame like it's this amazing accomplishment and this school that is so good at football when they win nothing. Absolutely nothing. Over and over again. They haven't won a title in 34 years now, or 33 years. What's so special about Notre Dame? That they have money and that they have a lot of alumni base? Is that what's special? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Wow, NBC. Yeah, dude. Yeah. The Big Ten. Yeah, it's better than the SEC. And yeah, Notre Dame. Yeah, it's so sexy. Sexy to who? To Notre Dame fans? I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of friends that say, I can't wait to see the Notre Dame game. Now, I might know a Notre Dame fan that says, I can't wait to see the Notre Dame game. It's like, give me a break, dude. Enough already with Notre Dame. My God, the biggest hype piece of crap that there is out there in the history of college football. They produce more money and win absolutely nothing. Way to go. Let's see what else. Miami, Big O, you hear what Miami considered with homelessness in Virginia? Yeah, I know they're stupid. Dude, listen, it doesn't matter. I keep telling you guys out there, Democrats, Republicans, all we do is vote idiots into offices locally, statewide, nationwide. None of these parties come up with anybody worth a damn. And that's why you got stupid people like crazy Joe Carollo and crap like that. And then they come up, yeah, let's put the homelessness or the homeless in Virginia Key. Where does that make any sense? Let's put them away from everything so they have no resources whatsoever and they can just ruin the island. Because what are homeless people going to do? They're going to pollute where they're at. It's not like a clean situation. Have you watched what's going on in Washington and in Portland and in California where like they are king of homelessness? Like they encourage their citizens to go poor and live on the streets. I mean, to put them in Virginia Key. You know how stupid that is? And I get it. It's a really tough situation because nobody wants them in any of their neighborhoods. I understand that. But you don't put them in Virginia Key, you dumbasses. But again, these are the people we vote into office. We have people in this country that are stupid enough to vote for Marjorie Green or whatever her name is, whatever that loser is. I drop turds that are more important than Marjorie Green. This is what we vote into office, dude. We got a president that shakes people's hands that aren't there. You know, it's what we do every year, every 4 years, everywhere. It's garbage. We never have any kind of leadership anywhere, dude. Big O, you the man, loving the streams. You keep it real and tell it how it is. Thank you very much. Nick says, I'm doing my best, Pete Rose. I'm trying. Baseball is a tough bet on a night-to-night basis. Not for me, Jason Myers. We're getting lucky, baby. What else? Miami and Florida rivalry would grow again. Yeah. Watching the Canes beat Lou Holtz's teams, even with the Rocket, was always fun. I agree. Who do the Canes fans hate more, Gators or no? Gators. Noles are not. Frankie, if you have to ask that question, then I don't think you really follow Canes, Gators, and Noles. Everybody knows that it's a rivalry between Miami and Florida State, but there's respect. There's not there's hate for the Gators. Like the Seminoles really cannot stand the Gators. Like the Canes are their rival, but they're not like as hated. And the Dolphins, the Canes, the same way. Florida State's a rival. They want to beat them, but they don't necessarily hate them like they hate the Gators. It's different. Not even close. What do I think about China and Taiwan? I'm glad we went to Taiwan and we told China to kiss our ass. We're America, dude. We don't act scared by anybody. Not China, not Russia, not anybody. So I actually give them credit. I didn't, I pick on both sides, but Dems aren't necessarily the toughest breed, I think, overall. So I kind of give them credit for doing what they did. Didn't expect it, actually. kind of expected him. I kind of expected him to do what he did with Russia in the negotiations, be the first one to and then go public and then do stupid things. That's kind of what I expect. So I'm glad she went. Plus, it's all about the chips. You know that, right? You know they're the number one chip maker in the world, Taiwan. Did you know that? So that's kind of why we also went, because we want to keep the negotiations going. Because remember, we just passed the bill that we're going to build our own what's it called, chip manufacturing companies here. Which, like, really, dude? So we've got to go out of country for 80-90% of our chips, and we've got Silicon Valley and everything else going on here, and we're not going to build our own chips. We're not going to build our own batteries for electric cars. Let's go, dude. Let's be smart. And if Tesla and if what's the name of that company from damn it, they just started in Texas to build a plant for their electric cars. Damn it, I was watching this and reading about it the other day. But we want to encourage people to come build here. Okay? That's kind of what they're trying to do, which is finally smart. You know what I mean? And that's actually good. So we've got to get back to building here. And so for now, let's go get chummy with Taiwan. Let's keep the chips coming in until we can build our own. And then we can say, Taiwan, so sorry, we have our own. And then we can move on. But for now, yeah, go over there, shake hands, kiss some babies, and make sure we get our chips. Okay? That's what you got to do. What is it? Amazon, $5 billion vehicle factory near Fort Worth would rival Tesla's Austin. $5 billion electric factory backed by Amazon and Ford is when. Yes, that is one, but there's another one. It's a Korean company. Korean electric car company comes to the United States. That's it. Rivian. That's it. It's a Korean company, Rivian. So Rivian is now coming over, and they're going to build a factory here. They're trying to open up offices throughout the country. They're in the infancy stages. So, and this is very, very important. Very important. I love that that's what we're doing. And it started with Trump, actually, that he started to try to bring people back, and then Biden and company have kind of kept the same thing, because all the presidents prior, didn't matter what side, you idiots, don't start with the Republicans or Democrat crap. All the ones before, they kept everything outside, dude. And enough of that, man. Enough. We've got to build our own. We're America. So, yes. So there you go. That's my 2 cents on all that stuff. I've been seeing a ton of Rivians in Denver. Look pretty sweet, don't they? I saw a couple of shows or whatever segments on YouTube on Rivian, and they do have nice cars. I think their cheapest one is like in the 40 range, and they have a very interesting. Rivian does something different than Tesla, which is the difference between the two. Rivian, you buy the car, but you lease the battery. So interesting, because they take all the burden of the battery. So when you lease the battery, and then when it starts to die out and lose its life, they switch it, because you've been paying. So because what normally on Teslas and other cars, that's the problem, that once the battery a couple years down the line wears out, you then have to buy a new battery, and it's like 10 grand. So Rivian is doing something different. You gotta know that I got a lot of time in my hands and I know about all this crap. Anyway, so Rivian does it different, where they'll sell you the car, but you will lease the battery. And I find that to be very interesting and very smart, because that's something that you're going to have to interchange for the life of the car. And so I thought it was a very interesting way of doing things, because that's the one thing that you worry about is the battery life, and then also the disposing of the batteries is something that we're all concerned of too, because of the environment. So that's something also that we've got to be very careful of moving forward with electric cars. We've got to also have the proper way of disposing these batteries and then hopefully rebuilding these batteries again too, so it can be reused. But the Rivian is a very interesting concept. It's a nice car. It's a nice car. What do you got for me? What, Rivian? Yeah. Oh, Rivian Automotive and American Electric. Oh, so then this is not the Korean one that I'm talking about then. Put Korean electric car company coming to America, because that's the one I was seeing. So it's not Rivian. Rivian is the other one. Rivian uses the batteries from, oh man, what's the name of that company that they are like they are known for batteries. So that's where I've got it confused. Well, if you find it, tell me which one it is. I have a Tesla truck pre-ordered, still waiting for it to come out. That thing looks bad, that Tesla truck. You know, the Ford one, that one looks badass. That's when it goes to electric, I might get a truck instead of a car. Because once we go electric, then, you know, what the hell. Big O, Barcelona is going to try to get Alexander Arnold, probably one of the most shady teams in soccer. Barcelona. Texas Instruments, there you go. Neo, yeah, that's the batteries. Neo. That's it, GP Trap. Nice job by you. Neo's a big battery company. The Ford one looks even better than. I agree. I love the Ford one. You didn't find it? No, not Hyundai. It's not Hyundai. I just saw the whole thing on it, and they're the ones that are doing that whole battery thing, and they're leasing the battery. You buy the car, you lease the battery. And oh, by the way, my bad. They're starting in California is where they're starting. Yes. And they're starting with like, I don't know, 13, 14 dealerships in California. I think that's where it is that they're starting. I think they're factories in Texas maybe, and then they're opening up in California. I know I saw it. I could probably look at my YouTube history and probably find that video there is probably if I do it that way is probably the way I could end up finding it. Crazy concept, though. Create factories here to provide jobs for our country, right? What a concept. Not only that, they're high-end jobs because, you know, we're snobs in this country. Let's be honest, right? Let's open the honesty door here, right? We don't pick fruit. We don't clean houses on average. On average, there are certain jobs that Americans don't take. They will not take. And I almost sometimes feel like that's why we allow the immigrants also to come in, because there are jobs that they're going to do that we're not going to do. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to think that, okay, so there's tons of jobs available. People don't want to work. Government's giving away free money. Okay, now we have an idea. We are shipping in all kinds of products that we use every day, and we're smart enough, talented enough, resourceful enough to build it ourselves and create those jobs, create more jobs that are creating windmills and electric grids and solar power stuff and water powered everything and electric cars and batteries and chips. And you know how many jobs how many high-end jobs you can create with all of that, instead of us. I believe we ship in 80 to 90% of the chips that we have in our country are shipped in from outside of this country. How is that acceptable? It's the weirdest thing. So there's a bunch of jobs that we refuse to take, right? So we have a whole bunch of people that are illegally in this country because they're willing to do those jobs so they can survive. And yet we're not willing to then, okay, so we need better jobs and we're not willing to create them. No, we'll ship in all the batteries. We'll ship in all the electric cars. We'll ship in all the solar panels. No, dude, let's make them right damn here. And they're waking up now. Finally. They're finally doing it now. Now they're going to start building the chip factories now, which they should have built them, 3, 4, 5, 6 presidents ago. But whatever, it took this group here to finally say, we got to pass a bill, we got to get this going, and finally. It's a shame. The Mustang Mach-E. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, the Mustang one? It doesn't look like a Mustang. It's kind of rounder, bigger, squarer, it's very in between car SUV like, right? Yeah. It is interesting. I like it. But if I had to pick right now, I would take that Ford truck. Now I can't afford it. You know what I mean? That thing's expensive as hell. Lucid, is that the one? Let me see, man. I know I saw the whole thing about it. I think let's see, you might be right. Let me see. Lucid electric motors. Is this the one? I don't think this is the one that I was talking about. They're nice. They're really nice. Let me see, man. What the hell is it? Well, I don't see it because I went to the website. I guess I gotta. I can't see where the hell Lucid Motors is from. I don't know. I don't know if it's Lucid. I don't know why I am forgetting which is the damn car. Lucid is American, right? Okay. I know there's a Korean one because I saw it. Anyway, Big O, stop talking common sense. Politicians don't like to have any common sense. No, what the Democrats and the Republicans do is they control everything that fills their pockets. That's why all of these presidents and governors and senators, they leave a lot richer than when they got in. Interesting how that works out, right? The problem is, Big O, a lot of folks don't want to work 60 hours a week, and the hot sun takes a different type of man. I mean, either way, but it's funny how we've shaped our country that all of us won't take certain jobs. There's just certain jobs we won't do, and the group of people that usually do those jobs, they probably not Americans. Just odd like that. Waiting for the Expedition Electric. That's what I am waiting. That I will not get another gas car. I will never buy another gas car again. I am waiting for, hopefully by next year I might be hopefully ready to move on and get my electric car. I'm hoping that, as more of these companies get into it and then the prices come down, and because right now you don't want to buy a car. This is not the time you want to start buying cars right now. At least especially a used car you don't want to buy. Maybe a new car you can get a pretty good deal, but I'm sure they're still marked up at this point. You probably want to wait a little bit more. But for my case, I'm really waiting for the electric car market to get more saturated. That's really what I want. That way, it's not so much that I need charging stations all over the country and all that kind of stuff. Man, just get a car that has over 300 and you should be fine. Shouldn't be that bad a deal. Oh, GM Chevy has an entire line of retro body vehicles that are EV badass. Check them out. Yeah, no, Chevy's done a really nice job with them. Yep. Just from experience, I've been roofing for 15 years. Rarely do I run into someone who speaks English. Just saying. Yeah. No, I know. I know, my brother. I know how this whole works. It's just it's the life we've all chosen. It's the world we all live in, and we see it every single day, and none of us can change it. By the way, tomorrow we'll be at Dolphins camp. Just want to remind you, okay? We will not be on in the morning. We will be on in the afternoon at 3:00. We'll have our interview set for the afternoon like we always do on Fridays now. We'll have it on the afternoon because while practice is going on, we want to go out there. I mean, Sean's been going out there every day, actually, getting us all the info and getting us all the sound and the video, which is all on our YouTube pages, Big O Radio Show, which is the one you're watching right now. If you're listening on the podcast, please follow Big O Radio Show on YouTube and our second channel, Big O Show Cuts. You will see stuff there that you won't see on the regular channel. Plus, we're going to add live programming down the line. Please help us get that one to 1,000. We got to get that one to 1,000 as soon as possible. So thank you. Appreciate you all out there as always. All right. We thank the great people out here at Hialeah Park for taking care of us. The Brunetti family does an excellent job. And we thank Frank Fiore, Steve Calabro. I was hoping to run into Steve Calabro today. I thought he was going to show up today, man. And he did not show up today. We will see you all tomorrow. Same place, same bat channel, just a slightly different time. It'll be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern after Dolphins camp. We'll have the latest from Dolphins camp. We'll talk about everything going on and any developments. Hopefully, Ross won't screw up again between him and Beal. Hopefully, they won't do anything from now till tomorrow when we're on. But we'll be on tomorrow. Y'all be good out there. Much love. Be good.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.